Wireless monthly bills can really add up. Mint Mobile is fixing the common problem of overpaying for wireless. Mint Mobile took what's wrong with wireless and made it right with premium wireless for $15 a month, even their unlimited plan. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can bring your current phone and your number, choose from 3, 6, or 12-month plans, and say goodbye to a monthly bill. Like so many of you, I was paying such high prices when it came to our wireless bill. We found out about Mint Mobile, took a look at what we were paying, found out what we could pay, and made the switch immediately, and we haven't looked back. Still getting great coverage, great service, everything you need in a wireless carrier without paying the crazy prices. So if that is something that you are looking for in your life and you don't want to overspend, stop paying hundreds of dollars a month on wireless when you can be paying just a few bucks. Get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month. Go to mintmobile.com/VIALL. That is mintmobile.com/VIALL. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/VIALL. That's it. There's no catch. Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, and $180 for 12 months. Plan required $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. Includes up to 20 gigabyte hotspot. Capable devices required. Availability, speed, and coverage vary. See mintmobile.com for details. Here's the thing about lifelong friendships. They can survive careers, marriages, kids, but can they survive a girl's weekend away? Find out in Spa Weekend, starring Leslie Mann, Isla Fisher, Michelle Buteau, and Anna Faris as 4 friends who escape to a luxury resort for some much-needed relaxation, where they embrace a little freedom, meet a few hot men, and make a few bad decisions. From the directors of Bad Moms and the writers of Hangover, Spa Weekend is a hilarious comedy about friendship, self-care, and the getaways that don't go as planned. Well, I was lucky enough to get a screener of this amazing movie. Nally and I absolutely loved it. It's funny, hilarious. It's exactly what you and your friends need for a fun, laugh-out-loud movie. Go check it out. You'll love it. Book an escape and treat yourself to Spa Weekend, only in theaters August 21st. Make sure to bring your BFFs.
You're crazy.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Viall Files Reality Recap Edition. I'm your host, Nick, joined by my sexy, gorgeous, wonderful, incredible hero mom wife, Nally Joy.
Wow.
Hero mom.
Hero
Mom. I love that one.
Wow. Let's have examples.
Shout out to the hero moms out there. You know, we had a really great weekend with our family, including Nally's mom, and we had
My sister drove up.
Sister came in.
Oh, wow.
Our friend Victoria Fuller's in the area. We got we got Gigi
Victilier?
or G. You know, we got a village.
Gigi. Who's Gigi?
Genevieve.
It's crazy.
We have nicknames for everyone.
Wait, Genevieve's hanging? I love.
Genevieve came too. Listen, it really does. My mom was like, it really takes a village with twins.
Anyways, lots of parenting conversations going on this episode. The world has lost their mind with this Lindsay Clancy case, and we are finally going to talk a little bit about it. And obviously, given the sensitivity of this case, we will try to do it with tact in ways that maybe some people on the internet aren't. We actually have a very unique guest. Our booker, Angela, is going to join us when we talk about the case, only because when we were talking about, you know, how do we want to have a conversation around this case and what potential guests should we have, Angela was very gracious talking about her own experience as a mother who's someone who has dealt with severe postpartum. And she just talked so passionately from her lived experience. And I felt like I learned a little bit from her just hearing her. So we invited her on because, if more than anything, I think there's just a lot of discourse and as often the case, misinformation and confusion on certainly postpartum. Certainly there needs to be an awareness. I think that's one thing we can hopefully all agree on. Angela, our booker, is going to join us to talk about this. And then obviously we'll get into, you know, some of the other things that are, you know, being talked about and some of the craziness that is going on as a result of this case. But before we do, we have some fun things to actually talk about. The Dancing with the Stars lineup is really taking shape. When do they announce?
September 2nd, right?
All right, so September 2nd. So as often is the case with Dance with the Stars, they do a big kind of cast announcement via GMA, obviously the Disney affiliate for the Disney family. So shout out GMA. But like, unlike maybe other seasons, has this happened as much? But it feels like they're really leaking names.
It does seem like
they're doing that, but honestly, it's just getting me more excited. I
100%,
mean, should
yeah.
we go through who's confirmed and who's rumored?
Yes.
Because I'm itching. Okay, so confirmed, we've got Sierra Miller, Maura Higgins, Jackson Olsen, and Guillermo Rodriguez.
They've been confirmed by the actual show.
Yes, they have been confirmed.
But they have not been confirmed of who their partners are, just Guillermo.
Just Guillermo.
Whitney.
I believe just Guillermo.
Okay.
Yes. And then for the rumored cast, which this can be from like rumor to they've been like spotted outside the building and people are throwing it in. These are just really fun names. Tyler Cameron, Connor Levitt, Sarah Jane Nader, Jenna Dewan, Julia Stiles, and Tatiana Ali.
I feel like Sarah Jane Nader is confirmed because Brooks is like commenting on rumored posts being like, she copies everything I do. Yay, go Sarah Jane.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Also
Sounds
with
about right.
the Love Thy Nader, obviously again part of the Disney family, it makes a lot of sense that they're using this to promote their own show.
And Brooks, I mean, that was a good season with Brooks and Gleb. Was that last season? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they need a partner for Gleb? There's no way she would
That'd
dance
be
with
crazy.
Gleb. That would be crazy.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Oh, I actually heard there's a rumor that she's
Female.
going to have a female partner. Yeah.
Yep. Heard that too.
Ooh.
Yep.
Ah.
Again,
Lovely.
all rumored.
All
Who would
rumored.
be
Do
who would
it.
be a good female partner for her though? I'm like thinking height wise. She's a model, so she's a little taller.
Mhm.
She like
I mean, I feel
5'7"
like wasn't Jenna
Jenna
with
was
JoJo's?
Jenna
JoJo,
was-
yeah.
with JoJo.
So maybe since she's got like practice also dancing female, maybe they'll use
Yeah.
her again.
Yeah.
Practice.
I don't know. Aren't you like used? Don't. I mean,
It's
Oh.
got to
It's
be
a different
hard to switch
dynamic.
it up. Yeah.
But the question is, who leads? So I think when JoJo dance, because that is part of dancing.
Yeah. Like someone's got to lead.
Why are you
Yeah.
looking at me like,
But I
what
wonder
did
if
you
there's-
say?
I wonder if there's like, I don't know. I feel like there's a dynamic where they're both kind of leading,
Yeah.
and both kind of following. That could be kind of fun.
On Dancing with the Stars, but amongst the pros, there is often, I wouldn't say not complaining, but the women pros would always tell me that like the men pros have the advantage because in the dance, they're leading the
For
dance.
sure.
So
they can just like throw.
they just
kind of
throw their partner around,
Yeah.
and as
Yeah.
long as you're just
Yeah.
like, I trust you, they can kind of really lead the dance. Where like the male celebrities, the stars, they're supposed to lead these dances, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. So it's just a
Yeah.
lot more difficult. So that really like who is leading in the dance matters. So
Yeah.
I wonder. I imagine JoJo led when she was
Maybe
the
sometimes.
star, but JoJo's
Yeah.
also a professional dancer.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Which continue on with the rumored cast.
Julia Stiles.
Oh, I was
Oh,
gonna
she-
go
she-
Jenna. I was gonna go Jenna
Jenna
Dewan.
Jenna
also a
Dewan.
professional
Yeah.
dancer
Oh.
in the ilk
True.
of JoJo. Not necessarily
Yeah.
ballroom dancing, but certainly. What was she on? Like, I Think You Can Dance or something? Or
She was in Step Up.
oh, she was in Step Up. Also famously married to Channing Tatum, also a great dancer. Not that like who you're married to helps you dance, but
Are they still married?
oh my god,
No.
no.
Channing
No.
Tatum?
No. Oh, okay.
Girl,
She's
I thought you said they're-
remarried. She's got
he was
they're
dating.
both
He
remarried.
was dating Zoe Kravitz for a while.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they were.
She
really
has
hot
a
together.
child with her new husband, who also is a very talented singer, performer, entertainer.
But it would be crazy if the rumors are true to have both Jenna Dewan and Julia Stiles in a season of Dancing with the Stars. You have Step Up and Save the Last Dance.
Who
That's
did it better?
like- That's huge. That's huge for a very specific group of girls that grew up with dance movies.
Julia Stiles is a really incredible casting for Dancing with the Stars. It is a very interesting cast.
People think Julia Stiles might be with Ezra. That's the rumor.
Who they're paired with, I guess I'll more just kind of find out. Are people that excited about the pairings as much as
I think
I
people
think so,
are.
yeah.
I think people love the idea of like a romantic connection or
Mhm.
some kind of
A showman.
A showman.
Yeah.
People love
who
that.
are the of the alleged celebrities? Who are the single ones?
I don't think any.
So maybe
No
Thank you.
showmance.
No showmance.
Sierra,
No,
well,
I'm looking
Sierra,
at the-
Sierra Miller.
Sierra's
Sierra.
single, yeah. Is Mora single?
I think Mora's single.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Is
And that's-
Guillermo single?
I don't think
No.
so.
I don't think so. I think he's
Something
married.
tells me that Mora and Sierra Miller won't want to have a
Showmance.
showman.
I agree.
I feel like that would take away for their narrative of the season of
I think so,
independence
too.
for sure.
I'll be curious. I think having both of them on the cast will be really interesting because I feel like they have a similar vibe in the sense that they're both like really powerful,
Mm-hmm.
strong single women. And I feel like you kind of each year there's like a casting for different people where it's like, okay, we have this person who represents
Mm-hmm.
this thing, and I feel like they're both kind of that person.
Yeah. Continuing on with who's rumored, we have Tatiana Ali, who's I believe for Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, correct?
The
Yeah, so
old
that'll
one or
be-
the new one?
Both.
Mm.
Booked and
Like,
busy.
OG sitcom star.
Which one
doing
is
her
she in
thing.
the? Which one? What character does she play?
Ashley.
Oh, okay, love.
The youngest.
Okay.
I saw Connor Levitt is also rumored, which is have they ever done that before? Like, oh,
A wife, then a husband.
I don't believe so. That
pretty
makes me
cool.
wonder if there's a spinoff coming for them.
Right.
Oh, a Whitney and Connor
Hmm.
spinoff.
Well, with the whole, with Sarah Jane Nader, like again, like ABC is going to use these other shows, these popular shows, to promote their own shows. And obviously, Whitney did very well, and she had a great fan base from this show. And Connor was a very supportive partner. Unless there are plans for Connor, in Whitney, it would seem kind of like a random casting. But
I do
it
feel
makes
like
me
they've-
think there's maybe something in the works.
I do feel like they've kind of teased that idea because didn't they launch like their own production company or something?
Sure,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
So,
do
like,
think they have their
maybe
own
that's part of their
production.
Yeah.
their spin-off story.
Yeah. I also think Connor, because of Whitney last season, like he has such like a wholesome, quality to him, like especially within the community of Dancing with the Stars and the
Yeah.
fan base. So I think he would be like for the fans who got to watch him last year, just like support his wife and then go see him dance. Could be really fun.
Usually that's not
I don't
enough to
know-
get a casting. Usually it's because I think there's
Something in the works.
Yeah, I just wonder if it's like in tandem. You know what I mean?
Plus, we know that man loves a costume.
Like Zach Affleck would never
Yeah.
get this opportunity.
No, but I feel like people also like Connor more. a little.
Totally. I'm
Like,
saying
he-
there's
he's
gotta
a
be
bit more in like
something
social graces
for them because I
Yeah,
don't think
true.
it would happen for Zach.
We have other couples that have done Dancing with the Stars: Carlos Penavega and Alexa Penavega, and then Nick Lachey, Vanessa Lachey.
I'm not familiar with the Pennavegas.
Me either,
Me
but
neither.
we love to see a.
Good for them.
Were they on
couple
the same
supporting each
season
other.
or different seasons?
That is a great question.
That would be kind of cool, like if they could compete against each other. Yeah,
And then we have Tyler Cameron, which I'm very excited about.
I'd love to see it.
we love to see it. He
Well-
honestly, like, he should have had his moment years ago, but I'm
Yeah.
glad that it's
I'm
finally.
kind of
come.
surprised it took him this long to get casted on Dancing with the Stars. He famously, for those of you, for Bachelor fans, came out dancing in his intro package on Hannah Brown's season.
Yep.
Mhm.
And his hips did not lie. And it'll be really exciting, I think, at least for us, to, Tyler is in a very different stage of life now, recently engaged. He's settling down, as they say, to a wonderful person, Tate. I think the challenge for Tyler will be he's so used to, on a public stage, to being the sexy heartthrob.
I think he can still
Fuck
be
boy.
that.
Well, I think what's cool about getting to see Tyler in this like phase of his life is I think it reminds you that like so many of these like celebrities we see on TV are just like us, just normal people.
So also, we didn't talk about the randomness of the casting. Do we not want to talk about that? I think a lot of people are discussing the cast.
Yeah, it is interesting at this point because it's like, a lot of people are saying it's random, and there are influencers on it, but what's the difference between a star and an influencer at this point on a show like Dancing with the Stars?
Yeah, I guess like last year we had Alex Earl, who of all influencers feels like she carries a lot of star power, where I
Mhm.
don't know that there's anybody who's quite an Alex Earl on the
Yeah.
cast.
Well, also,
know?
I think people have to remember like how they cast this show. They're pulling from various with Dancing with the
Quadrants.
Stars, they want to pull from popular niche audiences, right? So that's why
Mhm.
they often will try to get like someone from the Bravo space, right? They'll try to get some a few people from just like generally like reality TV stars, and now because of
They'll
the
get like
rise
an athlete.
of
Mhm.
rise of influencers, you're going to have like TikTokers and just like
Yeah.
your traditional influencers.
Gotta pull in that 18 to 22.
The casting of Tyler, I think, is for anyone who it feels random because he hasn't been on The Bachelor for a while. I think that speaks to like the fact where Bachelor Nation is at. Obviously, we didn't have our Bachelorette season. I don't think Taylor Frankie Paul is available to dance. There's no like obvious, relatively new person from that franchise but it's still like a legacy franchise that still has a very strong fan base. And I think that's why they go to someone like Tyler, who still has like, he's probably one of the still the biggest names and most relevant names in Bachelor Nation, who has yet to compete. So like that, that in itself makes sense. But yeah, they're building a roster, they're building a team, and they're always going to pull from different pockets of popular niche audiences. Like, for example, the Savannah Banana guy, we talked about this on Plus. Like, they always find, like on my season, that we had a bull rider who was like a model / bull rider. And in bull riding, it's a very popular space. It's very niche. And they wanted to, they're pulling from these kind of parts of America that, they want representation. So like with the Savannah Bananas taken off, like he's kind of filling that niche, it's up and coming. They're bringing him on, so.
That just like shows you the power of TikTok, because the Savannah Bananas, for those of you who don't know, I'm from Savannah. So that was like we don't have any other.
How long has it been around?
A long time. So it was like its own baseball team. I think my dad like played for him, or so. It like wasn't a, known thing, and then they started getting basically baseball players who couldn't make it to the AAA or Major League or whatever.
They were very good, but not quite good enough.
Very good, but not good enough. And they just started like this silly thing. And I feel like they were the first to do it, but it was the only thing you could really do in Savannah was to go to these Savannah Bananas games. And it was just so family friendly. Like they're just so silly. They interact with the crowd a lot. And so to see it take off the way it did, obviously it's because like they were filming TikToks and doing all these TikTok dances, and TikTok really blew them up. But now I see them literally everywhere. They are truly popping off. Like they are everywhere. I feel like they're in commercials now. It's just really wild to see, because it was such a small town thing.
Well, I think it's going to be a fun season. There's a lot. I mean, Julia Stiles is a very fun casting. Jenna Dewan, also very fun casting, in a mix of your more traditional celebrities and just kind of the, this is what celebrity means today. But speaking of celebrities and celebrities who are just like us, a lot of people are having fun watching the Umanskys take their daughter off to college. And you have Kyle and Mauricio and the family, posting like a vlog style of their, as a family, despite, them being separated, not technically divorced, but, no longer in their marriage, but still being very much a family when it comes to supporting their daughters. And a lot of people have enjoyed watching this very wholesome video of the Umanskys. And, like with Kyle and the Beverly Hills Housewives, there's always like this perception of unobtainable life and glitz and glamour and flying, like you watch Beverly Hills Housewives, every time they travel, they're going to like this kind of very private, staging area where you show up for the airline and they're flying first class. But when the Umanskys are just being a family, they're going to Burbank Airport. And they're flying Southwest, and they're flying coach, and they're just like us.
They're ordering Taco Bell. Kyle Richards is getting a Crunchwrap Supreme, and I want to know. It's like, I want to know Kyle Richards' Taco Bell order.
Late night order.
Yeah.
I feel like that should have been included in the vlog. Like, what did everyone get mukbang?
Yeah.
They should circle back and give us what the people want, because I agree.
Yeah.
I've said this before too, like despite what's going on in Kyle and Mauricio's marriage, I think I give them so much credit and so much praise, because of outside of the difficulties of making a marriage work, which is, we all know, it can be a challenge over the course of a lifetime. But the way they prioritize their family outside of themselves, I think is such a beautiful thing, honestly. And given how common divorce is and how difficult it is to make a marriage last, I think it says a lot about Kyle and Mauricio and how they've prioritized their family, and that it's still possible. Like, it is still possible to,
like, they can put their problems to the side and just be there for their kids, which is something coming from a divorced parents. It's something that I like wanted my whole life. I remember the only time my parents were in the same room was like a high school graduation. And that was, they like fought about having to be in the same photo.
And there was always drama. Yeah.
It was like, we have to take a photo with me and I need both of my parents. And they were like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think it's just really beautiful, like, that they're able to do this and kind of and truly be influencers when it comes to what it can look like with a family that, you had your marriage problems, but you can still be a family. And I really admire them as parents and what they do, and they are great role models. I certainly hope that Natalie and I will continue to work on our marriage and fight for our marriage and and stay together. But I think there's so many like beautiful things that we can learn from the Umanskys of how they've been able to prioritize their family. And I think it's just great. I love them for it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of family and housewives, we had Gina, who from Orange County, like posting a Facebook review of her son who's like power washing trash cans in their neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Is this
It
right?
was so
It's
yeah,
so
it was
wholesome.
really, it was really cute. Yeah, basically he had been like doing this little side hustle of like cleaning trash cans, and someone was like, "This young man, if anybody wants their trash cans cleaned, go for this young man." Just like out of like without like Gina doing anything, and like
Yeah.
this kid just like is good at his services, and everyone wanted to prop him up.
And he's
But that
taking
also-
pride in his work,
And
which
that
is
also
like,
feels
part
like
of his work.
it feels like a niche enough job. You know, it's like
Uh-huh.
easy for kids to do. It's also
Yeah.
niche. It's also no one else really wants to do it. Like clean your trash
Totally.
cans. Yuck. I'm
what
good.
is he charging?
That's a
it.
great
I don't know if
question.
it says.
Does the Yelp have business information? Does he have a card? See,
Does he
Gina,
have a
these are the things you should
card?
be asking your son
Yeah.
after supporting him.
He
for
could have
sure.
gotten so much more business had she included his
I
business
know.
card.
It's also like, are we adjusting for inflation? Like I know what sanitation costs in my rent. I just hope he's getting. I hope this kid is making money.
I feel like he is. I feel like a neighborhood in Orange County, like
Oh,
it's not
yeah.
going to be cheap to get your trash can washed, but he is a teenager, so
Yeah.
you're getting a discount.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding.
He's
That's a
$10
deal.
$10.
$10.
I
What's
love
Orange
Y'all need to
County?
book
That's
him.
a good price.
No,
That's
that's
a
a great
good price
price.
point. That's a good price point.
I also love that Gina was just so like proud of him and wanted to reshare it because I'm
Yeah.
sure. I mean, I don't know. I feel like as a kid, like all you want to do is make your parents proud. Well, if you're a good kid, I guess. But
yeah.
but I think that she's such a good mom
Yeah.
and cares so much about her family and the family dynamic. So I love that she was just so proud and like wanted to reshare this.
No, I love Gina. And Gina also like, I mean, I'm making it a bit about money just because my head is going of like I would put myself as this kid being like, all right, how can we scam these Orange County women
Right.
that love me?
Yeah.
But Gina doesn't care about him like making money and stuff. She's just proud of him like being,
Work-
like a good kid.
Work
who's,
ethic
like,
goes a
hard
long
worker.
way. Yeah.
How old is he?
It's pretty cool. He's a teenage. He's 11.
11.
He's 11. That actually, I was thinking he was like 15.
Me too.
He's 11.
Oh my gosh.
Smart. Business
Wow.
mind.
Yeah, he's gonna do great things.
Yeah.
Speaking of smart, you know what River did over the weekend? It blew my mind. I don't, honestly, it was shocking and terrifying all at the same time. It was crazy.
Mhm.
Natalie so right now when River gets a boo-boo, she wants a Band-Aid. So she's covered in Band-Aids.
We're in a Band-Aid
like-
stage.
Mhm.
she like, it bumps something, she needs a Band-Aid. So Natalie got her some character-themed Band-Aids, and she got her Frozen Band-Aids. Now, Frozen's one of the movies that we haven't really watched with River. I think we put it on like when we were just like kind of new to introducing Disney movies to River, and we were kind of finding what we wanted her to watch, and we've really leaned into some of the classics. So I think it was like at least over a year since we've turned on Frozen for River. And Natalie got the Frozen Band-Aids, and she off the box looked at the box, and it had Elsa, the two princesses, and
Mhm.
immediately River started singing let it go, and I'm like, how does she know that
Aw.
song? Like, we haven't played that movie for.
This is crazy.
It's been like
It's
over a
just-
year.
That's crazy.
No, it's
just
crazy.
part of pop culture, man.
Yeah,
She's
she's a
just-
I
pop
guess, but,
girly
like, I
already.
don't- I don't-
She's
we're
a
not,
pop
like-
girly.
she
but-
just has an
It's
amazing
crazy
memory.
how kids like, yeah, it's crazy how like smart like young kids are, and like how much you will just like soak up pop
Yeah.
culture. I found an old like home movie of me like the other week when I was like probably like 4 or 5. It was an old video of me singing 50 Cents in the Club and The Lion Sleeps Tonight.
Nice.
And it's just
How did your dad feel about you knowing the lyrics to In the Club?
oh, he didn't care.
Oh, great.
It's a video of my mom and my sisters singing, going, Mary, sing Go Shorty. Like they were encouraging it. But
I
it's
love
just like
that.
really funny the way kids' brains will like,
Absorb everything.
to this day, I associate those two songs together.
River is the most curious child ever. I can't like be chewing something without her going, "What you having?" And it'll be like a chocolate covered almond, and I'm like, "Nothing. I have nothing in my mouth." She's like, "No, open your mouth. What you having?" I'm like,
She wants to know.
"Nothing."
Are you guys going to encourage your children to have jobs at 11, 12 years old? Are they going to be
Yes.
For
I mean,
sure.
as soon
I
as-
remember like I was like there was a mom and pop gas station like right up the street from our house. And when I think about right up the street, it was actually like too far of a walk for us to be walking, but we were definitely walking there. And we'd walk up to the gas station and stock the shelves for them, like stock the refrigerator, the drinks, the refrigerator section, the shelves. And he was giving us like cash under the table.
Well, Natalie actually recently sent me this really, I don't know if it was a TikTok or reel or whatever, but it talked about like the reason why it's important to give your kids responsibility and chores early in life.
Mm-hmm.
And part of it is just like making them feeling involved in the family, you know, just helping out. It gives like kids purpose, you know, when, you know, like when we're changing the twins' diapers, Rivers like wants to be helpful. You know, she's only 2.5, so she's limited in what she can do, but like, you can tell she feels involved, right? And so I think part of that is giving kids responsibilities early in life and chores. It's not like to teach them like necessarily a work ethic, but it makes them feel purposeful and it makes them feel like they belong to the family. And I the way like this clip that Natalie sent me, like, you know, framed it, I thought was like, it made a lot of sense. I mean, we've always thought about doing that, but it kind of framed it in a more positive rather than like, I'm going to make sure my kids work and things like that.
But it also made me realize, because I remember seeing, and people gave me so much advice on this right before the twins were born. And it was like, what do? You know, how do you make River, your toddler, like not feel forgotten? And it was like, oh, have them like help with tasks. And then a lot of people were like, no, don't make them do that, because then they want to be a kid, like make them still feel like they're a kid and not like they have these jobs or something. And so I was really battling with what to do. And then now that we're in it, and you see, like this morning, I had all 3 girls. Nick went back to sleep and I was breastfeeding both of them. River was sitting beside me. We had Hercules on and I needed a burp cloth. And I was like, River, I need you to go get a burp cloth. It's in your sister's room on the dresser. And she was like, okay, in sister's room on the dresser. And she was walking in and she was like, on the dresser? And I'm like, yeah, baby, on the dresser. And she's like, this one? And she comes out, she's like, this one? I'm like, yes, that one. She's like, this one? I'm like, yes. She's like, okay. I'm like, she's so proud of herself for like finding the right thing. So I feel like definitely including your kids.
Yeah, because at the time they don't know that
totally.
they don't know it's a chore or that it's
well,
work.
it also like it doesn't have to be. Like Nick, I know you have like a bunch of siblings. Like growing up, I had like 4 older siblings and we were like a blended family. They're my half siblings, but they were like, you know, kids and teenagers when I was growing up. So they were like babysitting, taking care of me like all the time. And like that was never like, that's just like part of the family dynamic. It's like not even a chore. It's just like you're spending time with your family. And on the cleaning stuff, I remember like, oh my God, I would get so mad when I had to like clean baseboards and stuff. But also it was like, I was hanging out with, now looking back, like everyone's an adult and everyone's moved on and like we all have such different lives now. And I'm like, man, there were days when we were just like fighting over cleaning baseboards in like my like old house.
I mean, shit, back in the day, Little House on the Prairie style, you had kids to help the farm. You know, like was like you literally, they were your workers. You know, I'm glad we progress as a society. But
child labor. Don't do that. Don't do that.
But like there is something to be said about like giving your kids responsibility early in life.
It's like you're taking care of your home, you know? It's less like, it's less doing a chore and more just like, you know, making sure your space is nice.
And being a kid isn't just about like, I don't know what it is to like, you know, it's not just about having fun. I mean, parenting is like from early stages. I really feel like my and Natalie's only job as a parent is to prepare them for life. You know, to teach them various lessons so that when they're on their own, they can have a successful life on their own when we're not available to be there for them. And I don't think you can start too early to like teach them lessons and you know, give them a sense of purpose and individual accomplishment. And that's more than just like playing on the playground, you know, and you can do both.
Right.
Well, continuing on with talking about people named Natalie, Dove, Iris, Nick, we've got Liv and Natalie from The Girls.
I'm excited because I actually went to the like debut party at Nobu. I met Chloe.
It was at Nobu?
It was at Nobu.
Of course.
It was kind of iconic. And yeah, I saw all the girls from the cast. I didn't meet anyone except for Chloe, which I mean, not a bad person to meet.
No.
Yeah, so it was really cool. I feel like the vibes were high, guys.
Lovely.
Yeah.
What was Chloe's vibe?
I mean, she's so kind. She's really just like such a kind person. She took pictures with like literally anybody that asked her. Her body was insane. I will say the one person that really stood out from the cast was Natalie she just exuded like kindness. I don't know how to describe it. Like I made eye contact with her a few times and she smiled at me like and I didn't actually, this is going to sound bad, but I showed up like not really knowing the cast. And I was like, wait, whoever that girl is just so kind.
Just
so
like
I
intentional. Yeah.
Yes, intentional. And like I'm a nobody. I'm just at her event, whatever. And she just like made really nice gestures like multiple times throughout the night where I was like, wait, I don't know who she is, but I'm going to root for her all season. Now I'm a fan. I'm a follower.
You've got your girl.
I've got my girl.
Well, I think there's just a huge fascination with obviously the Kardashians and the Jenners and that whole like group of friends. And this show, The Girls, is centered around kind of like what it's like to be best friends with some of the most famous people in the world. And to your point, Susie, I didn't really know what to expect when we had Liv and Nat here. I was, quite honestly, a little intimidated. Wasn't sure like what they knew about us and were they too cool for us type of thing. But like to your point, like, and you'll get to know them when you listen to this interview with Nat and Liv, but some of the most down to earth, kind people. It was really just, which is like, I didn't know what to expect, right? You kind of like, this is a show about people who have these very fantastical lives, a lot of privilege, a lot of access to celebrities, and just like, just extraordinary lives. And like, what is it like to live in this world? And this is an opportunity, obviously, to get to know two of these women. And I really enjoyed the conversation that Justin and I had with them. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. My favorite part from the show was honestly, like I really like Nicole. Nicole's been like just bringing a lot of fun stuff, and she had this part where she was talking about seeing something on like her man's phone, and she called herself a find out-ologist.
Same.
And how it's just like
I identify with that.
You identify as a find out-ologist.
Yeah, I think that if I have an inkling,
I think all women are find out-ologists.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think you give me like
We're the FBI.
a little
babes.
edible, a little glass of wine. I'm gonna find out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I have a gut suspicion,
for sure. Social media makes it, I wouldn't say so easy, but a lot easier.
They really, because you'll be like talking about it with your girlfriends and you'll be like, oh my gosh, like, are they doing this? Are they doing that? Where are
Let's
they?
find out.
And then the algorithm is like, let me show you
algorithm.
everything you want to see. I'll show you the photos that he liked. I'll show you
People
where he
you
was
may
that
know.
night. Yeah, people you may know.
Oh.
people you may,
I may.
This is what they said on Threads, if you were curious.
Yeah.
It's an interesting
Exactly.
tagged photo. Yeah. A woman's intuition is best served with the algorithm.
Yes.
Would you say?
Well, these are a group of women. They are moms. They are friends. They are fascinating people, and they are up next. And following our conversation with Nat and Liv, we are going to dive into the Lindsay Clancy case that has really kind of taken over in terms of the discourse. And it's if you weren't following a couple weeks ago, I think everyone has heard it from either following it themselves or heard it from a friend. A lot of fascinating conversations, some dark conversations, but we are going to try to tackle those conversations following our conversation with Nat and Liv. And we have a very special guest. Our booker, Angela, actually is going to join us because while talking about how we were going to, what guests we might book for this case, she was very gracious enough to open up about her own postpartum experiences, something that she dealt a lot with, and has a very passionate and very direct take on this case as someone who experienced postpartum depression and anxiety herself. So following a very light, fun conversation with Nat and Liv, we will get into this case that everyone is talking about. So stick with us. Up next, Nat and Liv.
Well, for those of you who don't know, I used to be a certified surgical technologist and woke up just about every morning at 5:30 in the morning and put on a pair of Figs scrubs. And I have to say, waking up that early, it did make it easier because they are the most comfortable, the best fitting. They have so many pockets. They have so many different styles of scrubs. So whichever you are into, if you're tall, if you're petite, if you like a jogger, if you like a flare, if you like a pocket up on your chest or two pockets down on your waist, they have so many options, so many colors to choose from. They also make outerwear, accessories, loungewear, and even partnered with New Balance on sneakers for long days on your feet. I have worn lots of scrubs, but Figs are easily the best and most comfortable I've ever worn. They have technology to help prevent sweat and odor. Their fabric is soft, breathable, and stretchy. So if you're listening and are in healthcare or you know someone who is, it is a perfect time to upgrade your scrubs to Figs. Use code FIGSRX for 15% off your first order at wearfigs.com. That's wearfigs.com, code FIGSRX. You're going to love these.
For parents of teenagers, anything that makes parenting easier is a win. Cash App does just that by helping your teen build financial independence. The Cash App card is available to teens 13 to 17 with sponsorship by an eligible parent or guardian. Every transaction triggers a real-time notification. You manage everything directly from your own Cash App account. Teens get their own personalized Cash App card with different colors and patterns to choose from, and they can instantly access money from family and friends and use the tools designed to help them build real-world financial habits. I love what Cash App is doing to help parents teach financial literacy to their children. It is definitely something we will be utilizing when our children get old enough. And honestly, I don't think you can start teaching financial literacy too early. It is something I think is lost on us as a society. We have to get better at being careful with our money. And we know how difficult it is out there and how tight money is. And let your kids earn financial independence by learning some of the key basics of how to handle their own money. There's no monthly fees, no minimum balance requirements, and no hidden charges when sending or receiving money. The Cash App card also comes with 24/7 fraud monitoring, and parents can lock the card from their own phone if it is lost. New Cash App customers can earn $10 if they use code FAMILY10 in their own profile and sign up and send $5 to a friend within 14 days. Terms apply. Liv, Nat, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Very excited to have you,
having
ladies.
us.
You're nervous? Are you nervous?
I'm a little nervous.
Why are you nervous? You guys are like, you guys are like,
this is
icons.
the big time, though. You have a great
Please.
show. No, but you do.
well, I hope you're not nervous. We're just friends hanging out, having a conversation. I got to start by saying, like, watching the first episode.
Yeah.
Your name's Nat. My wife's name is
Yes.
Nat. You have a daughter named Dove.
Yes.
We recently have a daughter named Dove.
Dope. I don't know.
Dove
this.
and Iris, our twins, were born 6-ish weeks
I
ago.
heard you
Oh
had
my
twins, but I
God.
didn't know.
And then you have
Wait.
Iris on the show.
Yes,
There's a
and then
Nick somewhere.
Your
There's more.
wife's middle name is Joy, and my middle name's Joy.
Oh my
So
God.
we were like Natalie Joy because we do Natalie.
That's
Olivia.
incredible.
We're just
Well,
And then
she
our
wishes she could be
name
here.
is Nick.
our best friend's
Yeah.
name is Nick, who's also on the show. And you and your wife filmed Age of Attraction in Van. No,
yeah,
we're
in
from
Vancouver.
You guys.
Small
Wow.
world.
We're
Okay.
Wow.
why aren't we best friends?
I
don't know.
We are now.
Well, congratulations on the show. It's very exciting.
Thank
I
you.
know a lot of people are already talking about it. Like, how does it feel? Like, are you equally excited? Are you nervous? Like, you both have done reality TV before. So I'm just curious, compared to your previous experience on reality TV, what do you hope is different and what do you hope is the same about this experience?
Yeah, I think one of the main things that, because we've been doing press all week and stuff, that is different is the show we were on before called Wags. We were kind of paired up with gals that we didn't know.
Okay.
So with this show, it's actually a group of 6 friends, like authentic friends. There's no like having to pin someone in who has never been around. Like we've all been around each other 10 plus years. So that in itself is different. And I think just reality TV has changed a bit since last time. I
Yeah,
mean,
it really has.
you know, we've not been on, we had our own show after Wags with our family, but that was probably 2018, 19.
I also feel like there's just so much more reality TV. You know what I mean? I feel like back
Yeah.
like 10 years ago, there was like a few pocket shows. I mean, maybe there was more than
Well,
that, but
it's-
like now it seems like there's like
Well, the
so
industry's
much.
changed, right?
Right.
Like we're
right.
no longer. I mean, the Kardashians have always been obviously
Yeah.
a very different
Right.
Yeah.
breed or element, and
Totally.
and quite frankly, they've been the pioneers of
Yeah.
taking the space seriously. Where, like, I come from The Bachelor, it was like
Right.
the butt of a lot of jokes. And still is sometimes.
Yeah, it's
but
great.
it is cool to just be a part of this space and
Yeah.
and that separate. It used to be a clear distinction between like star and reality TV star.
Yes. Yeah,
and,
they didn't
and,
mix.
and they did not mix.
And it was
Not
very
mix.
A team and like B or D team with reality, I felt.
Yeah.
It was very, but now it's
They're all the same.
Yeah, I love that. That's why I
totally
feel like this
equal.
time, if anybody watches, I feel really honored,
It's
honestly.
almost, it's
Because I'm like,
yeah.
there's
I
so
agree.
much content. You can watch it everywhere. There's social media that's just like watching a show all day long anyway. So if anyone actually cares to watch, I'm like, wow, that's so nice.
Yeah, 100%. We've been having fun doing like this time around, which is different too, is TikTok. When we were on Wags and our own relatively Nat and Liv
so
show,
late to the game. I'm
there
just
was not
starting.
TikTok, but we're hitting all these trends and we're like, you
Are
know,
we?
So you're good at
we
dancing.
are trying.
You can dance.
Well,
No.
we haven't really done the dance ones, but like the fun, cute ones that are like cheeky, where you're like mouthing something or
The lip
what.
Wow,
sync.
we sound
Yeah.
so old
Well,
right
interestingly
now.
enough, obviously you were on the WAG show, which was really
Yes.
popular when it was on. But even the WAG space is
Yeah.
like really like there's
Wow.
it's
It's
taken
really
off. There's
taken
a
off.
greater fascination. Even just
Totally.
Yeah.
like again with this space,
Uh-huh.
call it reality TV, call it influencing, just like people being public figures and personas, like
Yeah.
lifestyles, right? And I think
Yeah.
that's honestly what the Kardashians and the Jenners have really like. They started as like this kind of lifestyle, you know, aspirational. I think women,
Yeah.
people look at you women and this group of friends, and you guys are the epitome of like, I want this life. Is there a lot of pressure around that, and is there pressure on authenticity? Like, how do you find that balance between showing your true authentic self, or do you have pressure to live a certain lifestyle and live a certain type of aspirational style, knowing how fans see women?
I think what's been nice with anyone, not even just in reality TV and stuff, but just with age, you get wisdom and you kind of grow this don't give an F vibe. Meaning this time around too, we were just like, this is who we are. We were so vulnerable. We were so open, maybe a little too open. We've all been joking. Like you really feel like you're in like the girls group chat, which is sometimes vulgar, sometimes maybe low key, even inappropriate. I don't know. But I don't think I feel like so much pressure. I feel like
Definitely not.
in
yeah.
myself, like this is who I am, like confident in who I am. I hope people like it. I hope people enjoy. I think you're gonna feel like you're one of the girls watching. But yeah, I don't particularly feel pressure. or
Yeah,
any
and I think too, just from being
expectation.
on social media for so long, it come a bit like numb to the fact that like people are watching you. I don't know, it sounds
Sure, yeah,
terrible, but it's
no.
been so long that I'm like, wait, what? Someone is paying attention, you know? It's like, but that's a real thing. And yeah, I
Yeah.
don't feel pressure from it.
And how did you ladies become friends with Chloe and the just the
Yeah.
whole family? Because I think there's a lot of fascination behind that, and I think there's just a lot of people like, how do I become
Oh my God. I
part of this
can't.
group?
How do I get in there?
When we first moved here to be on WEGs,
Okay.
we had a makeup artist named Ariel living with us. He's so talented, and he got the opportunity to do the Kardashians glam. I think it was Kylie and Kim. And that was back in the day when like an aesthetic Instagram feed was like so cool, and I was really about that life. And
Do you miss those days?
kind of, because there's no video.
Yeah. The video's
It
really
was just
yeah,
like
the
the one
reels.
photo
It's
without the
simpler
carousel.
times.
Yeah.
It's also
Simpler.
harder now sometimes with like the dumps. Those are
Yes.
curated too.
I know.
Absolutely.
There's so
Yeah.
much work.
It
I'm
just
like,
quadrupled
Yeah, like now
the
I need
work.
10
why are we
pictures?
doing
Yes.
this? Yeah.
That's how we felt.
Yeah. Totally. So I think at the time she was wanting to like make her page a bit more curated, and Ariel was like, you should meet Natalie. Like she's really good at that. And he's like, Kim's gonna call you. Let's see if you like just chat with you about it and stuff. And I was like, that's normal.
Did it feel like an interview?
I mean, no, she was so nice and normal instantly. And then we started working together, and just because of that, we were texting like daily, naturally. And we just were like fast friends. Like it felt like I was just talking to my friend from home. She was so nice and normal. And then very quickly, we all became really good friends.
And then did you bring Liv into the picture?
Well,
after
just
that?
so natural because we were talking every single day, and then she'd invite me somewhere, and then she's with me, and it's just like, and then obviously they became fast friends because we're just honestly like coming from Canada and being so like family oriented. People always like ask us, and it's like we felt like when we met them, we felt like we met like our people. We're like, oh, this is our tribe. They literally have the same values as us. They view family the same. They treat their siblings the same way we treat our family and siblings. There's just so much similarities that you just couldn't even like dream it up. So
Yeah.
it was just such a natural fit for us, and we just became like really good friends.
And you two are cousins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our moms are sisters.
Okay. And
Yeah.
have you always been close, or is that
Yeah.
a relationship that has evolved over the years?
No,
Yeah,
always.
always. There's so many siblings and stuff that
We're all,
everyone
like,
kind of has like a
siblings.
a
A
partner
pairing.
or a pairing almost. Even our
Yeah.
moms are like best friends.
And
Our
then we're
dads
best
are
friends, dad's friends. Our brothers are best friends. Our sisters are best
Yeah.
friends. And
Yeah.
then we're all best friends.
How
We
many
grew up-
siblings do you guys have?
There's a lot
I
between
have
all
four.
of us.
Okay.
Four.
She's two.
Yeah.
And then we have other cousins, but that's the core.
I'm curious, what is like maybe the biggest misconception about this friend group or being friends with the Kardashians and the Jenners that you feel like it either is just untrue or you find frustrating?
I think kind of just to speak on what I was just like talking about was just, I think people, I feel like I get the feeling that they just think there's something like unworld, like they're out of this world or
Yeah.
something, and that they must be something. And it's just like the biggest misconception is that there isn't really a
down to
misconception.
earth,
They're so nice. They're so
normal,
normal. They're so lovely.
Family oriented.
And moving to LA, they were the most lovely, normal people we've met of a lot of people. So it's just like,
yeah,
Is that
we don't
correct?
have
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
family here. So for
Yeah.
us, we tell them all the time they're kind of like a home base vibe for us, which is like
very special and
Well,
needed because we miss our family.
And I'm sure
but
you ladies have, LA is just a funny place.
It's
And
wait, are you guys born and raised here?
No,
Sorry
I'm
to
from
cut you off.
I'm from
Wisconsin.
Northern
Yeah.
California.
So we're all yeah.
Implants, as they say.
Yeah,
right?
and like when you
Transplants.
come here and
That too.
there's a lot of wannabes and there's a lot of
Yeah.
people pretending
It's a
everyone's a
lot.
manager or a publicist, and it turns out
Who
they're
wants
not.
to know what you do?
Yeah,
what
they
do
want to
you
know what you
do?
do.
Yeah.
So it makes a lot of sense that people like the Kardashians and the Jenners, like they don't have to try to be anything they're not,
Yeah.
and they don't have to be deceiving, and they don't have to overhype themselves because like
Yeah.
everyone has that LA story of like
Totally.
someone making themselves feel more important, getting you to trust them, and then
Yeah.
you realize you're being used.
Yeah.
Is
Totally.
yeah. So it makes a lot of sense.
We've been here for like a decade now, but it took us a long time to like be like, okay, like we think
Get
we
our footing for sure.
because we just were taken back all the time by all the different personalities, and we just were so innocent and like, what?
we're very like, oh, what you say is what you mean, right? And then we're like, nope.
No, not here.
No.
Nope.
No. But
What was maybe your craziest welcome to LA story?
this was like 11 years ago now, and we were still in our party phase. And her boyfriend at the time was like one of the kings of the city. Like he knew everyone, every restaurant, every club. So
Yeah,
we just
wild
plopped
times.
in, drinking every day almost, filming wags. We're like, we're on a TV show. We're drinking, having fun. So we just hit the ground running. As far as a story, I'm sure we have some, but
What city did you guys move to specifically in LA?
West Hollywood.
Okay.
Where
So
we
party
were,
area.
Definitely.
we were like right on La Cienega, basically. Our Croft Alley was the street.
There's obviously a lot of ladies and women out there who think it would be very exciting to meet a professional athlete and marry a professional athlete. What is one of the biggest misconceptions or things that people don't realize if they're out there and like, oh, I hope this happens to me someday? What would you say, or like words of advice for anyone who is like, I hope I meet someone who is in this space?
I think as like glamorous as people might think it is, you really are, if you're in a serious relationship with somebody that plays the professional sport, you are like really taking on their career.
Yeah.
Like there's no way around it. Like if you want to spend time together, they are like very busy. And so you have to be kind of willing to like really double up with
Their
their
schedules
life.
are very
yeah.
travel with
predetermined
them.
almost,
Yeah, travel with them,
and or
stay
not,
with
and then it's
them.
time away from them, which that's tough. Like, and then you have kids, and maybe a team, you get traded, you move. It's
What is like a bad loss,
Oh my God.
a game? Like, what is that? How how do you guys handle like a bad loss?
I
with
think
your
it
partner?
like you would have to be prepared to be. I mean, it depends what the guy wants, right? Some guys maybe like shut off and don't share that part with their partner, but in the relationships I've been in, I usually found myself in the seat of being like sports psychologist most times. I mean, I played really competitive sports growing
What'd you
up,
play?
so I played soccer.
Oh, really?
So I felt like I was just naturally always talking about that with them, and then they always wanted to debrief, and it just depends. But it's really like you have to let them have their space and time to work through it. But yeah, it's definitely is like all about that. Like there's no just like game's over and you lost, let's go. Yeah, maybe.
And as far as the girls show, are you playing personal? Like, do you guys come in being like, all right, this is kind of the persona I want to have, or like storylines? Like, what can people expect by watching the show?
Kind of like forgot about all that. It was like we had like a meeting at the beginning, like with our producers and stuff. Like, I'll talk like storyline stuff, and you're like, wait, what? Oh my God, I forgot about all.
well, not even storyline, just like what do you have going on? Like
That's what I
the
mean.
beginning of
Yeah,
a
for people that
season.
aren't on TV, reality TV,
like,
that's what that
you have
means.
to have a
but-
little prep of like, hey, what do you have coming up? Does someone have
Sure.
a birthday? Does someone have a travel plans?
Mhm.
But no, we kind of just go in being ourselves.
It
like
also happens so fast.
that's the difference of this
So
show, we'll
fast.
say too, is such a quick turnaround. It was like a 6-week filming, which at least where we come from, that is like not normal. Usually you have at least a couple
Wags
months.
was like 8 months.
Yeah, sometimes Wags was like 8 months. It was crazy. But it was super fast for us and even the crew to shoot. Like we had 2 different crews. So it was a different way of filming for us even as well. But no, we kind of like, we like to at least give our all. Like we're not the type who are going to sit. We know cameras are there. We're not going to sit in a bump in a log. But no, we're kind of just ourselves, what's going on in our life at real time.
Has it ever, like, whether it's filming this show or Wags, has the drama on the show, like, how have you guys worked? I mean, I'm assuming it's like, real drama, and
Yeah.
right? So, like,
Oh,
how
yeah.
do you balance between what we see on camera and what happens on camera versus like when the cameras are off?
Yeah.
More have you had to like mend and fix relationships, and have you ladies have ever like got into it where it was almost like, I don't know, I need a break?
For us, I think just because we are such like sister
We're like
vibes.
sisters.
It's like
yeah.
whatever, like love you.
we might bicker, but it's like sisters where you can like
it's
say F off and then go watch a
it's
movie
never
together.
like that deep. But I feel like this environment, and this friend group, like any friend group, I feel like being in the pressure cooker environment of filming and just spending way more time together that you normally would never spend together, just like obviously breeds like conflict naturally, unintentionally.
And getting to know people on a new level, right?
Totally.
Like,
And yeah, so good.
yeah, like obviously we're best friends and family, and then our other girlfriend Nicole, naturally we were on WAGs with her. We've been friends with her for 15 years, whereas some of the other gals, we've been friends for 10 years, but maybe not on that deep of a level. So to then come together as 6 in that pressure cooker, and like you said, even if it was close as us, like you usually don't spend that much time together in days and consecutive and traveling. So you find out people's quirks and how they do things, how they work, how they fly, how they travel, how, you know. So it did have in real time a lot of things popping up where we are all kind of like, oh. And like,
Yeah.
as far as working through it, like I have to
It's
say
a work in
it's still a work in
progress.
progress.
Still.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll leave that there.
I mean, that honestly, that's my favorite part of like the girls, because like I think a lot of people are fans with the Kardashians, as they should be. But my favorite part was always like the twins or like the supporting
Yeah.
family members, I would say, like
Yeah.
friends that have become family.
Yeah.
And you guys got that and got to stand on your own. Was there a little bit of pressure of like, how do we do this without the Kardashians? Which I think you guys probably know you could do it anyways.
So for us, you know, being on WEGs and having our own show however long ago, we kind of decided during COVID, I just had my daughter. We were like, let's just like, we're both deathly introverted.
You both are?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we needed to like
Two peas in a pod.
hibernate
Same.
for a long
Yeah.
time to like get our like energy back. And we just thought maybe TV isn't for us. And a lot of people like production companies had approached us and we just were like,
Oh, no.
nah, like just didn't feel right. And then during the fires last year, we were staying with our friend Nicole and the WAGs reruns were on Hulu and we were like, you know what? Like all our fans really want us to go back. Like, should we? And we're just like toying with it. We're all like, we should, maybe we should. But we were like, do we do it alone? Like, what do we do? And then we were at Tatum's birthday party at Chloe's last year and we saw Iris and Malika and Khadijah there and our like a light bulb went off. We're like,
Yeah.
hey, do you guys want to do this with us? You know, we had kind of some creative ideas we had for how we wanted it shot and what cameras we wanted to use and stuff. And they're like, we love this. We're like, amazing. And they had other stuff going on too that they were possibly going to do. But I think just kind of like us, it felt right to do it together. And then when everyone was like, yes, I like just went over to Chloe and was like, hey, so
you want to produce this?
Yeah. And she was like, hell yeah.
So
And
the
she,
idea was born from you guys.
yeah. And
I
then
love
she
that.
was like, I love this. And then she's just amazing. And then before you knew it, we were on a call with Hulu and the vision was just like coming to life. So yeah, it was just really exciting and really kind of in alignment because it happened.
I also love that it's kind of like Gossip Girl vibes.
Yes.
Like Chloe's like not necessarily there, but she's narrating what you
Yeah,
guys
That's
are
what we
doing.
were thinking originally. We had like Sex in the City like as
Or
our
Sex and the City, yeah.
inspiration. So it's really fun because we wanted that and we shot it that way for the sizzle. And then somehow we started doing interviews again. And we were like, wait, what? We didn't want the interviews in there. And then they ended up taking
It's
them
good
out
that-
later.
yeah.
So it ended up being how we wanted it to, but we don't know if how that's going to read. But I think people
We hope
might like
people
it. It's a good
it.
change.
Yeah.
I
Did-
loved it. I was obsessed.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does Chloe have a lot of decision-making power in terms of like what we get to see or not see? Or is that more like network?
I think Chloe's the queen bee. So I think,
I
I
mean,
mean, I don't know. I've
I don't
not
know
asked,
either. I'm
but
sure if she
I could imagine if Chloe wants something, it probably could be done.
As she should.
But
I
as
think
she
so,
should.
too.
Yeah, it would seem like
I would
She'd get
think,
away.
but I don't know. I haven't
Yeah.
like pride to be like, hey, so can you get whatever you want? But
I think
I'd
so.
imagine she has a good relationship with everyone at Hulu, and you know,
obviously when it comes to being a public figure, influencer, there's a whole kind of debate and conversation around including kids and things like that. It's something like
Right.
Nally and I, we don't fucking know. Like every day is
I
like,
know,
should we? Should
I
we
know,
not?
right?
Like,
The
no.
shame and then not.
The
like,
shame,
yeah.
okay, don't even get me started on
I
mom
know.
shaming.
I know, yeah.
It's
I
like,
know.
So it's just like just moms are being shamed
Totally,
for talking about
just-
being moms.
yeah, that's
Like,
it.
a
What do
bunch of non-moms.
Yeah,
and then you
totally.
get shamed
Like,
if you
awesome.
don't talk about it because now, are you even a mom? Like, are you ignoring your kids? Like,
No,
you
it's
can't
crazy
win.
because like
Yeah.
being a new dad, like the thing I'm the most passionate about is like being a dad
Totally.
and like supporting my partner.
Yeah.
Your
And it's a
babies.
topic that like every time I want to talk about, I'm always like trying to thread a needle, and it's like I don't want to offend anyone.
Yeah.
I know.
And I want to talk about how this worked for me. Like literally over the weekend, now I got PTSD
Oh no.
because like she had, you know, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Fans are like trolls are trolls.
Aw.
Yeah.
And she posted this video. It was like we have the Nat it.
Yeah.
Shout out
of course.
Nana.
Oh yeah.
And she just like she loves going watching moments because like there's just so
it's
many
the
special
fun-
moments when
I
you're
know.
lying
I
in
have
bed
them
with
all
your,
saved
yeah,
still on my
right.
phone.
I guess we didn't sleep train. I don't really know what that even means.
Oh, shame.
So she was like, yeah, and she was like, she just wanted to talk about how she's really enjoyed these moments of like going to bed with River, and then she
Turned.
you know, it turned into a whole
Oh,
like apparently she's mom
no.
shaming the sleep trainers. It was a
Right.
whole thing, and she just wanted to
Gosh.
talk about
Yeah, her experience.
Yes,
and it's just
which
like
she's
why
allowed
can't
to
parents
have.
just talk openly about
Yes,
what's worked for them, what's
for
not
them.
worked for them?
Yes.
Because as you ladies know, like being a parent is like there's always best practices, and it's super helpful to hear. But
Yes.
like every kid's different, every situation's
Totally, it doesn't
different.
apply to every
that
kid, for
changes,
sure.
and it's just like every parent just wants to be like, I could use all the help I could get.
Everyone's
Everyone
just
needs
doing
to
the best
ease
they
up.
can,
Yeah.
obviously. Yeah.
Cut.
How do you guys like come up with those decisions, and you know, like with being as you know prominent and you
Mhm.
know as popular as you are, then you know the more fans you have, the more critics you have. How do you manage
Yeah.
that aspect? Because I'm sure you ladies have had to deal with that in like times 10.
For me, it's hard to say, but like I've only had really kind of pictures of my daughter online, and I've really toyed with that because there's like a whole group of people that are like, oh my God, there's so many perverts out there. Like you shouldn't have pictures of a little girl online. And then I totally like, I understand that and I
Gets in
agree
your
with that.
head,
And I'm like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, I shouldn't. But then I'm like, this is also my life and I'm so proud of her. And like my life is her.
Yeah.
So then I was like,
It feels maybe not authentic, not sharing.
and then
her,
like
or-
we're
yeah.
living in a world where you can't share a sweet photo with your daughter because there's, you know what I mean? So then
No,
I'm like, I also
know,
don't
'cause
want to
every
live
day
in
we
that
take a
like,
picture, and it's like we kind of at this point we the first year we just shared whatever, and with the
Right.
twins we're kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
And then we kind of were like, we don't want to show River's face, and then we take there's all these great moments that we want to share, but we feel like we made this decision. So if we go back on that decision, we don't know if it's the right decision. Like we don't fucking know.
I know.
And then it's just like, you know, Nally, she, funny enough, like a month ago, she accidentally posted like in her stories, and she got really upset about it. And I was like almost glad that it happened, because it made me almost realize like why we are doing what we're doing in terms of not posting. And it's not about not sharing, because kind of to your point, like if people want to see what our kids look like, sadly,
I know.
like they're gonna figure it. There's
Yeah.
cameras
Yeah,
everywhere,
everywhere.
right?
Find it,
But
yeah.
it's more like, I guess we just decided like we're fine with our fans having a relationship with us. We
Right.
just it just gets weird when people come up
Does
to you
get
and
weird.
go, oh, that's that River, and that's
I
kind of
know,
a
that
little like, and they
happens.
mean well, but it's like that gets a little
Well,
uncomfortable.
sometimes we get recognized like through my daughter
Yeah.
first, and I'm like, oh,
and it's like,
that's
oh.
a little weird.
She's a celebrity now.
Yeah. So yeah, it is tricky, and I feel like my opinion on it changes kind of regularly. But even approaching the show, it happened so fast for us. I didn't really have time to really think through or decide like exactly how I felt about it. So you see me like in real time, especially episode 1, kind of finding my footing with that. But yeah, she's on the show. She's not in storylines, you know, but she's there because it's weird, because I'm trying to be authentic and my whole life is with her. Like
Mhm.
every spare moment I have, she's with us like all the time. So it'd be weird to film a show and not have her on it. And a lot of the other girls have their kids on it, so I didn't want her to be left out. But yeah, she's just not like in.
Have you gotten any
storyline or
advice
anything.
from like Chloe or Cam about that in terms of how to handle that? Because obviously they have to deal with that as well.
I mean, I think for them it's like inevitable. Their life is just so public. I don't know how much if they tried to not, like it's
Sure.
like, okay, it's just happening anyways. So I'm still learning that.
It's a challenge.
I'm
Yeah.
still learning.
And that's the thing. There's no right answer.
Yeah,
And to each their
right?
own. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's just important to say no one should shame anybody else for their parenting decisions or choices. 'cause
Totally.
that's just
You wish that would be obvious,
that's
right?
being a bad
It's
parent
like,
for doing
yeah.
that.
No, it's crazy. And it's always just like well, and I was saying, because like we travel a lot, and real life that's not real life. Real life is, you know, if Natalie saw you,
Yeah.
you would be like, you got this.
Yeah.
Support. It's always support. It's always
Of course,
moms
of
like
course.
validating each other, picking each other up.
Yes.
You never see that in real life. You only see it online.
Yeah, and I always wonder, like, who are the people that just like, are they just alone in bed and just like, you know what I mean? Like, what are you
can't
doing?
fathom like typing a mean comment. I can't fathom. I just can't. I don't
Well, it's
know.
such a low vibration thing to do. So you have to remember that when you're reading it, like when it's coming to yourself, you just got to
That they're
remember
not
that came from
probably
such a low
doing okay.
vibration.
Low vibration is
Place.
exactly what it is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, why let it into your space?
Yeah.
If it makes you feel bad, it came from a
And
bad
I
spot.
forget, because what's your relationship status? Are you both in
We're
relationships?
both single.
You're both single.
Mhm.
And is that going to be a big part of this of this season of you guys navigating in dating life?
It is.
There's a little bit of dabbling. You have to say, boys. There is
Yeah.
a little bit.
There is. I haven't dated literally since my daughter was born.
Is that like an active choice, or
It
you've
is
just
an
been
active
busy?
choice. Yeah, active choice. I've realized, which I talk about this on the show, and it might be boring for some people, but I did discover like I create the same pattern in relationships. I'm old enough to like spot my patterns, and I definitely am an avoidant. So like after a period of time, I tend to turn off in
Oh,
relationships.
is this the 1 year?
The 1 year ick?
Yeah. I think she's one
Why
year.
is it? Why a year? Why is it
Yes.
taking?
I mean, it doesn't always take a year for me.
Okay.
Trust me, it can happen a lot faster
It's
than
been
that.
a little before
it's-
and a little after.
what is your
Yeah,
most
but-
ridiculous ick?
I mean, I don't know. Something just like biologically happens in me, and the poor soul could do like the most average thing. And
It's
I'm
not a
like,
specific thing.
No,
I have learned that
it's-
if like the average ick, at least with my wife, is a general
but
clumsiness.
she still loves you, and you could,
For sure,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's different. I'm talking
She tells
like
the
a,
story that we were driving one time and I hit a bump, and I didn't even realize this, but like I
Levitated.
Oh,
came off.
Yeah.
I
And
was-
she
how
can't.
She did
unmanly
not.
of you.
and
That was it.
thank
so-
thank God we were in a good place in our
That is
relationship.
so real though. Like I see what she's saying.
We were on our honeymoon.
Girls get the craziest.
We were
icks.
on our
I feel like
honeymoon,
bad
and
for guys.
and this is after I became aware of
Right.
what icked her, and I attempted to hop out of the pool,
Oh no.
and I slipped.
Oh no.
Oh,
No.
Nick, I can see you.
No, I know, and like I
I'm
was
sorry.
immediately I was like ick. Like now
You should have just went to the bottom and
Ick
just
now I
checks
do things
himself.
and I'm like ick.
bottom of the pool.
Like I know I've become self-aware.
That helps though. If you call the ick out,
It's
that does
true.
help.
If
It
you're like-
eases the ick blow
If you're
for
like, babe,
sure.
don't. I just know that. Just
Yeah.
forget you didn't see that.
Anything demure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
You did
Yeah.
bring up the example. If you can throw a ball better than him,
Absolutely.
kind of makes sense. If
That's
you can run
fair.
faster
We
than him,
played sports growing up. So, and I have 3 older brothers. She has an older brother. Our dads played sports. That makes sense. If I can throw a baseball and he can't, I'm sorry.
No,
I
that's an
just
absolute-
I mean,
can't.
everybody's different, right? But we do
Oh.
tend to be attracted to like an alpha, like masculine male. That's just our preference. Okay. That's our preference. So in that genre of men that we like, yeah, if I can run faster than you, if I can throw a ball better than you, and you throw it like Tom Cruise and like
in
Top Gun. I don't know, my
Yeah.
dad always made this reference because he throws like a girl or whatever.
Well,
like,
it's hilarious watching actors play sports because you can really
you
tell.
can tell the ones who did or
Who-
didn't.
who
Yes.
didn't.
right.
Yes.
So yeah, it's just all those things. Like I'm not going, oh damn, daddy, like you're so hot. And I just, I don't know. I don't
I
want to
think
beat
that's
you in
fair.
arm wrestle.
Everyone has their preference. I think that's a real one.
We
So
don't
what
need
are
to
your green
defend
flags?
ourselves. Green flags.
Family person.
Family person. Someone you could see being a good dad.
Just straight up kind. I don't like people that are rude to like.
A
Say a
server,
server
or Uber
or-
driver.
Especially
those,
in LA too.
Mhm,
Yeah,
those are green
I
flags.
peep all those because those are the things that like matter. People think you don't see, and like I don't like that at all. Oh, sorry, that's an ick.
Someone
A
that
green flag.
has a healthy relationship with their parents, especially their mom as a man, like a healthy one.
Emotionally
Healthy.
mature. It's nice.
No, it's funny. I have I guess I call him a friend. He's a friend. I often tell him he's a horrible person. He would, he was your club promoter kind of like, guy, and just
Yeah.
always had a different girl.
Not
and-
settling down type. Yeah.
And one time we were out, and he was just talking so much shit about his mom.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
and I was like, oh, this all makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
all
like
coming
it's
together.
like you should unpack that.
Yeah,
I was literally like,
totally.
you need to get therapy.
Totally,
Like,
yeah.
You shouldn't talk about your mom that way.
Totally.
Totally.
Any type of like self-development or therapy is definitely a green flag. Like the fact
Absolutely.
they've done that on their
It's
own
very
without
hot.
a woman like initiating it for them, that's like, wow.
And being a single mom,
Mm-hmm.
Obviously there's a lot of women out there who are moms who, have a lot of insecurities about feeling desired, or are they going to find someone who's going to accept the fact
Yeah.
that they are moms? Is that something you also have felt? And if
No.
so, no. Great.
No.
And what advice would you have then for the moms out there who have that kind of internalized
Yeah.
insecurity, how can they get to a place like you where you're just proud, I'm a mom, I'm owning it, and I feel really good about
I don't
where
know.
I'm
I
at.
feel like that kind of plays in, to be honest, of the avoidant in me, like in a way to start. And I think that's why often I get in the situations I'm in. I do have a really good self-concept, and I think that's from like my dad growing up. Like I just have never questioned my self-worth. So for me, which I'm very thankful, I know that's not a common thing, but for me, having this like amazing daughter, my life is so much fuller, more beautiful. It just doesn't even enter like my
That would be
brain that would
negative.
be a
Or an X on
disadvantage.
Does Dove
I'm
like
like,
her name?
she loves it.
Great.
Yes.
It's a good
Good to
name.
It is
hear.
a good name,
It's a
right?
beautiful name.
Yeah, I think just when you go out there dating, no matter what you're, whether you have a kid or don't have a kid, it's not about thinking about what someone else would want. You know what I mean? Like, why would you care? Oh, someone's going to care that I have a kid. It just should be like how you feel about yourself and just be confident. And I know it's so much easier to say than
Being as high profile as you ladies are, is it difficult to meet people? Like, how do you meet people? Do you need to get set up?
I don't know. I
Yes.
haven't tried actively, but you could.
Yeah, I mean, I'm somewhat dabbling because I would like to have children. So I got to meet someone to do that. And yeah, it's true. I know there's ways, but I for me,
You want to.
I would love to do it
Yeah.
with a partner. Yeah, I'm very like old school, traditional. My dad's pastor growing up. Like I have this like vision in my mind of, but yeah, I think it's a little tough. But I am the girl who's like, I'm not going to put down. You hear women go, it's so hard to date in LA, or like it's so hard to this or that, or put down men. I'm very optimistic. I feel like I can meet him in a DM. I can meet him in your office out there. I can meet him on a plane. Like I can meet him in Vegas. You can meet him in a club when people are like, I meet him in a club. I could, because I'm there. I don't go often, like at all. But I went that night. Maybe he went that night because a buddy's in town or something. So I'm optimistic. It's not really going right now, but
Because hey, listen, it's tough. It's
tough anywhere.
the toughest part about dating, right? And I didn't find my person till late in life
Right.
is having high standards and then also being patient.
Yes.
Because like
That's
those
it.
two don't go together.
do not.
That's
And
it.
like
They
there's some.
don't.
It's like I talked to so many people about dating. It's like I've been on like 15 dates and I didn't like any of them. I'm like, great, you're
great.
you're
you
not
weeded-
supposed
you
to.
weeded
Like,
them out.
Yeah.
how often
Yeah.
do you walk into a place and go, there's one in every
There
bar?
is.
There's
Yeah,
definitely
no,
not.
they're a gem for a reason. They're gems.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
just feel like I'd rather be single for the rest of my life
Than
than
settle.
be with somebody that is not like a good fit. Like I just, forget it. Like I
And that's the other thing, and like you just said, nail on the head is like, of course I could have by now, I'm sure, do that, but I would feel like I would be settling. It wasn't the right fit. And I do feel like I'm doing so much self-work on myself as of late, like more than ever, that I'm just preparing myself to be the best version of me. When I meet him, I honestly, it sounds psycho, but I know when I meet him, it's going to be like, yep, done. Okay. Yeah. Kids, married. Yeah.
That
Let's
doesn't
do
sound
this.
cycle at all.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
That's how it is
that's how I
usually.
honestly, my heart
The universe
feel.
will bring you the right
Yeah,
person.
like so
Totally.
I'm not really like tripping. I spent a couple of years being like, oh, because my friends are having kids and I want them. I'm panic vibes, and I feel like I maybe was even giving off that energy.
Yeah.
And I've really just settled in. Like I'm focused on my work, my family, myself, my health, and I think he's just gonna show up sooner than later.
You made a comment about, because like there's a lot of obviously discourse on the internet about like it's just fun to hate on men these days.
Yeah.
And certainly men deserve a lot of criticism
Of
that comes their
course.
way. Maybe I'm biased because I'm a guy. It feels like that discourse has like gotten to a point where it's not helpful to anyone. Because again,
Exactly.
like when it
Totally.
comes to a relationship, you're just one half of the equation and everyone has flaws. Like, how have you been able to maintain, it's almost like a weird question. How have you been able to maintain a positive
Outlook on
opinion
men.
on men,
I
given that it's like it's so easy
I-
to like
I-
your man
think
fucks
I know
up and you're like, you're a gaslighting narcissist piece of shit and you're
Right.
like them all, and it's just as opposed to like, maybe fucked up and like
I
maybe he
think
made a
I know what
mistake.
you're gonna say.
Well, I just feel like when that like era started on social media, I'm like the worst person for it because I already get the ick so fast, and it really kind of fueled my like, like I don't need one, forget it, like they suck, and like who needs them? Kind of not actually, but you know what I mean. I like resonated a little bit with it, and then I feel like now I'm in the place where I'm like, hey, hold on, I need to like reevaluate the values that I'm like looking for, and like look at my parents are still together. They've been married, God, I don't even know, 40,
50.
Oh,
almost
wow.
50
Good
years.
for them.
48.
48, almost 50. Sorry, mom and dad. But I'm just now starting to like really look into like like why and how my dad was such a good dad, and just
I was gonna say,
as you
it's
get
our
older, you
dads.
like value different things.
Yeah.
And I just think I appreciate different things in men now that I'm older, and when I look for a partner now, I'm looking for different things, you know. And I think
Like, do you
and
have
I say
any
that
examples?
I just say that more so in like humanizing like the
There's
male, like
and it's
because
ridiculous.
women oftentimes have this pedestal thing or a thing they've always dreamed of or whatever it is, and then you live enough life and you're like, they're never going to live up to that because it's in your own brain, right? But like I just feel like for me, I'm now humanizing like men. That sounds terrible, but like you know
Well,
what I mean? Like I'm like, wow,
you kind
they're
of get
just
conditioned, like you said, a really big upswing of this like man hater vibes, and there
Yeah, I
are
don't
good
like
men
it.
out there, and we have good men in our family, our dads, our brothers, our cousins, and our friends. Like, come on, I get it sometimes, like you said, if someone's cheating and not
those
being
things, yeah,
great, but I'm not gonna go out there and have this negativity towards men. I want to meet a great man and a great partner, and I don't think that's the best way to go about it. Being like, I hate men, like.
If I were to ask your dad for advice, being a dad of 3 young girls, what would you tell me?
Oh my gosh, he'd be like,
We call him Chief Helcro. He was a chief at the firehouse, and he is the man. My Uncle Jim is
Aw.
the best. Oh, I don't even know. What would he say?
oh my god, he is the most patient person you'll ever meet.
He's very protective.
Yeah, like I've had
Like-
boyfriends vanish from my life in high school. Literally vanish. And I was like, so like, why aren't you calling me back? Like, what's happening? And then I found out like months
visit
later
them.
that they had a visit from my dad. and then-
Justified when you know?
oh yeah, they were total losers.
He was the guardian angel.
Totally.
I think, like you said, he did a really good job at self-concept. Both of our dads did, but yeah.
That makes a lot of sense because I think about like all I really want to teach my daughters is to believe in themselves.
That
right?
comes
Like,
from you, 100%.
you know,
And the
and
self-love
they're
and-
capable of anything. And what I don't know what their hopes and dreams are going to be. I just want them to believe that they can accomplish them.
And their first
Yeah.
relationship with a man will be with you,
with
remember?
you.
So
yeah.
Yeah, I'm big on that. And then like, you know, it's just like you want to have. It's like you want to have boundaries and be strict, but not like
I agree.
Yeah.
too strict, right?
agree.
Like I want them to be able to choose for themselves and just kind of know consequences, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like and be able to own those mistakes
Totally.
and learn from them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been fun so far. It's
Yeah.
early, but
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun.
I think you and Nat will do great. I think you guys will do great. Your partnership. What I've seen online, you
Yeah,
guys look like a
we
great
really are
team.
just a team. Yeah,
That's
we
the thing.
just-
It's a
Yeah.
team.
The
And I-
fact that you're even like just trying and you care, like that's
Care
just
to
such
ask
a
even.
huge like head start in a race
Yes.
that we all like don't really like understand that a lot of that's like a big head start. Just
I am. It
just
is surprising
caring
just how, yeah,
and
I
how
just-
invested I can tell already that you are and the questions that you're asking.
It's
shows
fun, you
that
know. Like it's fun
care.
to, you know. This morning, like we've chosen not to do the night nurse thing. Maybe we're psychos, but like
No,
it's been a
to each
great
his own.
memory. But like
yeah,
I woke up at 5. Natalie wasn't feeling the best. She was sleeping with River, so I just fed the twins. I let her
Yeah.
sleep. But like
Aw,
it's
nice.
rewarding. Like
It is.
it's not like, oh, I'm a hero. It's more like
Yeah.
I get personal satisfaction
Yes.
from it. So it's
Yeah.
like a
Absolutely.
selfish thing.
Yeah.
But you know, if not mostly women listen to the show, but like I wish more men would embrace how it can make them feel by just kind of showing up for their people in a way that it does seem like some men don't fully embrace.
yeah.
And we say, like, even with my sister who's here, like, women love the masculine energy. We want to feel taken care of. We do want to feel that the man's got it. At least us, we do. I'm speaking for me. But like, I feel like as the generations are going on, there's not as much like masculine, like, do you know,
No,
masculine
yeah.
energy out there. It's
But I feel like too, like what he's saying, like doing things that maybe traditionally were more like a feminine role, like helping with the kids
no,
or
but
whattever.
I'm viewing
those-
that as masculine.
me too.
'cause
That's
Yeah,
what,
we're
that's
all
what I
saying
want
the
to
same
say.
thing.
because
Yeah.
he's taking control.
Yes.
And
And my dad was always like that.
Yes.
You know,
Like taking care of your family just
Yes.
means taking care of your family.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean like
I
hunting and
meant
gathering.
like my
Um,
dad cooked growing up. He
Yeah.
still to this day grocery shops for my mom. Like it's like
I
It's
meant
just like all hands on
Yes.
deck.
Yes.
Just figure the fuck out.
that's a man.
that a
yeah.
man's got it is more or less what I mean.
Yeah, there's nothing more rewarding as a father or a husband to say, I got it.
I got it.
Totally.
Yes,
No matter
yes.
what it
and
is.
women love that. They
Yeah.
love it. Yeah. So you're doing good.
Are we going to be able to see any fun dates or dating stories in this season? Some messy drama?
The speed dating in general was, or not blind date. The
Yeah.
blind date.
Yeah. Did you get to see the episode?
We saw the first episode.
Okay.
We saw,
Yeah,
we don't really know what's in it,
Who
but-
was it? Like they hooked him up with their
Iris's
ex?
ex.
Yes.
Iris's ex.
Yes. I was like, oh my God. I don't know if you could tell because I
Which
haven't
I
seen
love
it yet,
stuff,
but I was,
by the way. His
Yeah.
name's
But by
Steph.
the way, as an introverted person, did not seem introverted.
Okay,
you
the
know
thing.
how to turn it on.
Okay, so I say
Yeah, every
I think
introvert knows.
I think it's
how.
called
Yeah.
It's just exhausting.
exhausting.
yes. I think it's called ambivert, where
Oh.
like
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm
introverted as
Ambivert.
F, but when you're out, I'm
We're the
the
life
top
of the party.
the
Yeah.
So like being on a date, I'm such a good flirt. I think I'm just like I'm a Leo. I'm flirting. I can turn it on, and I enjoy it. But and he was so fun to be with on the date. But I was just like shocked at who it was. But yeah, I can turn it on. Like you're just exhausted, like you said. At the end of
Yeah.
it, you're like,
Did you know they were watching you in wigs?
no, and my eyes are bad. Like
Oh,
I
so it was
didn't
just
have
blurred
contacts.
vision around you.
Blurred vision. So even I had no idea. I was shocked. I was like, you mother. You
He
are
is a
there?
very good catch, by the way. He's a very good dad. He's so handsome. He's so kind. He's so nice. I like him a lot.
Well, tune in because
I'm ready to watch. Yeah.
Never know.
Yeah.
Well, I thought we'd play just not even a game, but a little round robin before
Okay.
we ladies
I
go.
love a round robin.
What's one word to describe your relationship with your castmates? Malika.
Oh my God, Nick.
Complicated?
Complicated?
Khadijah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Fun.
Iris.
Well, me and Iris is a little bit different than you guys. So yeah, me and Iris, I guess it's a bit heated.
Oh.
By association, he did because we're family.
Nicole.
Bestie.
Family.
And then Chloe.
Family.
Bestie. Yeah.
I mean, obviously she's like the matriarch of this show. If you were mad at Chloe,
Yeah.
how would you feel as comfortable communicating your frustrations with Chloe as you would
Yes.
say you would? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
and
might talk
she's,
to Kim about it first, but
she's like us, though. She's introvert queen.
Yeah,
we're
she's-
exactly the same.
the
So
three of
we-
us are very similar that way.
We have like an understanding that we don't even need to say something sometimes, but when we do, we talk very well with each other and hash it out. And yeah, she's great. She's the best.
Oh wait, I heard you guys you're friends with some reality TV. Did you watch The Ultimatum?
Wait,
yes,
do
yes.
we know
Well,
anybody on that?
I don't think we know anyone, but we are fans of
That'd
it.
be weird.
And we watched your guys'
No.
show that you hosted. You guys did so
Age of
good.
Attraction.
That was
Yeah,
a great.
that was really
I
good.
love the
Yeah.
concept.
Yeah.
When we turned it on, we're like, wait a sec. I think that's Van or Whistler, and then we found out it was. But
But yeah,
you guys did great.
All that to say, in Canada, like years ago, before it was like trending on social media or anything, we were like two lunatics, like living in our farm town, and we were like, we're gonna be on reality TV on E, and we were like waitressing at the time, and everyone's like, yeah, cute story, like,
We made vision
and we're like, no,
boards.
really, we are. We like cut our heads and put them on celebrities and put an E symbol on the middle of the board. We put American money because
money.
we're Canadian. We
Palm
put everything.
trees.
And we just told our parents like saw us doing it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, go for
Well,
your dreams,
scrapbook.
girls."
Everyone
like,
at our restaurant thought we were nuts because we would just verbally be like, "Oh
we're
yeah, we're
having a
gonna
show
be
one
on E,"
day. Yeah, we're gonna be on
and
E.
they're like, "Sure, girls," because at that time it was kind of like, woohoo,
yeah, it
because it was before Instagram and stuff
Yeah.
too.
Oh,
But that stuff
That's what I'm
matters. 'Cause
saying,
I mean,
yeah.
more than anything, I feel like manifestation is just like following through with your dreams.
And a blind-
'cause
a
truth
blind
is, I think
faith.
most people just don't have the guts.
I
Yeah.
do it.
know. Or the
Um,
delusion. You got to just be
you do have to be
delusional.
a
You
little,
do like
you
a
know.
little like
Well, we did sound nuts. For
be
sure,
willing
they
to
probably,
have everyone laugh at
It's
you.
so
Yeah.
specific, though.
You just have to, you
Very
have to be willing to
specific.
fight through it and
Yeah.
figure it out and
Yeah.
fail a few times.
Oh yeah,
Totally.
totally.
So yeah, when the call, they were like, "Oh, yeah, there's a show on E. Like, do you guys want to be a part of it?" It was like, "Oh, we already knew." Like,
Yeah, we're
we
like,
do.
yep. Like,
We were
yeah.
waiting for this call.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
and they're like,
finally.
"Oh, we don't know.
Yeah.
It's just a pilot." We're like, "Oh no, it's getting picked up."
It's yeah.
yeah.
And they're like, "What?"
Multiple
Every-
seasons.
Yeah, it
Every
is.
show we've done like a pilot for, we have a knowing, and even with this one, we're like, oh no, we're good, and it's been good so far.
Yeah. What are you manifesting now? What's on the board?
Season 2, but I also feel like we kind of have it with that blind faith. But season 2 would be great because we enjoyed it.
Totally.
Feel like we have so much more to like say and show. And then our hair extension company, Harlock Hair, we're in the process of moving it to the US, but with tariffs and stuff, it's a bit of a doozy.
Mm-hmm.
But we just are manifesting that goes well and excels, and we enjoy it, and we're really passionate about that. And then I'm low key always manifesting my hubby, you know.
yeah, I'm manifesting healing for myself, so I'm not an avoidant anymore. So I can grow my family in a healthy way.
Is it hard not to compete with each other as friends? Like, being as successful and as high profile as you all are?
No.
I don't compete. I've always been since like high school. Like if I sniff compete, I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm out.
I don't like that.
I don't like
Yeah.
that energy.
And
But-
again, same with like Kim and Chloe and all of them. When we met them, it was just like so refreshing that there is no ego.
Right.
And that's just like, oh my gosh. And me personally, I'm a really big like meditator. And I feel like I've had a lot of ego deaths over the last like decade, especially. And that's even why I didn't even want to necessarily go back into this space. It's just like, I don't really like need it, care for it, whatever. So I feel like I'm entering it in a different spirit and like headspace. So yeah, it is interesting to see everyone
navigate.
the
This
cameras
experience.
going up, and yeah, some things were shocking, some things, yeah, it's been a lot. Like I said, it's been a lot to digest, and
I'm
we're
excited to keep watching.
still
Yeah,
working
glad to
through
hear
it,
that.
but-
Yay.
Well, it's a great show. It's on Hulu
Thank
for anyone who wants
you.
to find it. It's out now,
Yeah.
so check it out. I don't think I need to tell people to watch it. I feel
You
like
think?
Do you feel okay?
Because
I
you
mean,
do
I-
actually watch a lot of reality TV.
I watch it all.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Probably with your wife. She probably drags you.
There are
in.
worse jobs.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's feeding some twins. You have it on.
Yeah.
That's true.
could be-
Okay, so after watching, you feel like what you saw of ours, you're like,
I feel
Locked in?
like the Kardashians and Chloe know what they're doing. I feel like everyone loves aspirational.
Yeah.
Like it's,
Yeah.
and you obviously
like
your group
watching
of
too.
friends and you women are. It's a fascinating life. There are so many elements of you women, just the friendships you have. The interesting people you date. Your successful business women. There's something for everyone in terms of aspiring to be, and it's just, everyone likes seeing a group of friends have fun and have a little drama.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
A little bit
think- I
tea
think-
spilled.
I think it'll be
Gonna
good.
pop,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, thanks for having us.
coming.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
This was great, you guys.
Appreciate
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Your liver is basically your body's filter, so it's worth giving it some daily support with Dose. Dose for your liver is a clinically backed liver health supplement. It's a liquid supplement taken as a 2-ounce daily shot. It's super easy to take. You don't have to mix it or anything. It tastes great as well, like freshly squeezed orange juice. And someone who is a big freshly squeezed orange juice guy, love the taste of Dose. And again, it's just super easy to take. So many other supplements have a little bit of a process, but not Dose. It has 0 sugar, 0 junk, and 0 calories. It supports daily liver function so your liver can do its job. Your liver processes everything you consume and performs 500 plus daily functions. Dose is designed to support your liver and help with sluggishness, midday crashes, metabolism, and daily digestion. Dose has a double-blind placebo-controlled studies showing a positive impact on liver enzyme levels. Since I started taking Dose, I've really experienced the benefits. I experience less sluggishness. I feel a little bit more energized during the day. Plus, just that good feeling of knowing that I'm helping take care of my body as I get older. Every little bit helps, and Dose is doing its part to help me. Ready to give your liver the support it deserves? Head to dosedaily.co/VIALL and enter VIALL to get 35% off your first subscription. Your body does so much for you. Let's do something for it. That's dosedaily.co, dosedaily.co/VIALL for 35% off your first month subscription. August is a great time for a little home refresh. Wayfair has you covered. Shop furniture and decor that's built to last. Wayfair Verified is a shortcut to durable pieces that have been hand vetted by product specialists. It's back to school season, and maybe while you're sending your kids back to school, maybe after the summer, you've realized that maybe some rooms in your house need a little bit of refresh. Maybe it's an outdoor space. Maybe it's an indoor space. Any space in your house can be drastically improved by all thing Wayfair has to offer. They have such great furniture. We've mentioned this already, but at the lake house, we have this beautiful little outdoor patio space, but it's small. It was very difficult to find the right furniture. So what did we do? Natalie went to Wayfair, found this beautiful love seat that fit perfectly in this tiny little room with a perfect little coffee table, and it really brought the room to life. It was so easy to build. My dad and I built it together. Took like 15, 20 minutes. You can also see real customer photos and feedback before you buy. They have more than 20 million verified 5-star reviews for real shoppers. Natalie got some great customer reviews before she bought it, so she got to hear what other customers thought about the pieces, so she bought with confidence. The whole experience was easy from beginning to end. We absolutely love the furniture that we have. Join Wayfair Rewards today and get 5% back on every purchase and start saving on your next home upgrade. Head to wayfair.com to shop all things home. That's wayfair.com, WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Is work crazy? Are your kids driving you nuts? Has it been forever since you did something just for yourself? Well, if this sounds like you, Spa Weekend, the hilarious new comedy from directors of Bad Moms and the writers of The Hangover, might just be what you need. It's all about 4 lifelong friends, played by Leslie Mann, Isla Fisher, Michelle Buteau, and Anna Faris. They're all burned out, overdue for a break, and desperate for a weekend away from it all. So they escape to a luxury spa retreat for what should be the most relaxing weekend of their lives, except nothing goes as planned. Well, I was lucky enough to get a screener of this amazing movie. Nally and I absolutely loved it. It's funny, hilarious. It's exactly what you and your friends need for a fun, laugh out loud movie. In other words, you deserve a spa weekend. Book your escape Spa Weekend, only in theaters August 21st. Angela, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I bet when you came onto the team, you never thought you'd be sitting on this couch
Nope.
in the.
Never.
Is this your first podcast?
No, I've been on podcasts, but only to discuss my career and to help other people, get into the industry, but never to talk about my personal experiences in life.
Well, we very much appreciate you coming on because I know obviously this is personal for you and obviously a very sensitive topic. I was telling the audience that when we were as a team discussing like how we want to talk about this case, you were very gracious to talk about your own personal experiences with postpartum. So,
Yes.
and I think you shed some very interesting light on it as someone who, Nally and I obviously in the postpartum phase of the twins right now, but thankfully Nally's experience and our experience has been different than, what so many moms and families have to deal with when it comes to postpartum. But before we jump into that, I do want to just this case has really taken on a life of its own. And it's created so many just conversations that are affecting families, couples are breaking up. It's really, it's kind of scary just how, I guess, the internet, not too shockingly, will kind of warp what is the actual stories of this case. Our friend, Emily Baker, who actually we asked to come on, but she's she doesn't do 2 things. She doesn't like to talk about ongoing cases, and she obviously doesn't like to talk about cases that involve children, which is what's going on here. I remember when Emily and I were just started working together, I was just asking her questions about the true crime space and just, what is it like to cover it, pros and cons, things to look out for. And I remember her telling me how, one of the things about true crime that can get real messy and real dark real fast is that when cases that are ongoing, like this one, we're watching the court, the trial in real time, is that 100% of the time when these cases go on in the true crime space, is that there's always a group of people that will advocate for the innocence of whoever's on trial, regardless of what the case is. There's just always these fan theories, and they really take on a life of its own. And sadly, what always happens is that people connected to these families and connected to these cases, they're the ones who start being accused of the crime. And regardless of what happens at the trial, no matter what, when it's a true crime and it becomes popular and it's on the court TV and you have Nancy Grace or whoever it is talking about it, you're always having a large group of people online making just random accusations, to people who are deeply affected by these horrific acts. And it's just one of those things I think we just always have to be mindful of. And clearly that's going on in this case because, you have a lot of people accusing the husband of potentially being guilty of this crime. I think it's important to mention, as far as the trial, the husband's not on trial. He's not being investigated by the police. And even Lindsay's own defense is not arguing whether she actually committed this act or not. What they are arguing is whether she is capable of being held responsible. Does she go to jail or does she go to a mental health facility? But they're not debating whether she did it or not. But when you ask the average person following this, it's amazing how many different versions and scenarios and theories that exist out there. It is quite scary.
It is. It's very scary.
I think it points to how the internet can just take something and run with it in 1,000 different directions. Like you said, they're not arguing whether she did it or not, but there's so many theories. And honestly, even as a consumer, consuming TikToks and stuff, I'm I find myself falling into the trap of
Right.
like, oh
Yeah.
wow, wait, there's actually some.
What we
you know,
have to remember, especially with these trials that are ongoing, and then, we have the ability in some of these cases to watch the trial happen, is that it's her legal team. It's her legal team's job to create doubt, to create reasonable doubt, to advocate for her. It's literally, even if a lawyer doesn't believe their client's innocence, it's literally their job
Yeah.
to find that. And to your point, Mary, you have people online and, true crime detectives and fans like taking this information and kind of metastasizing it and turning it into something it's absolutely not. I mean, I was talking to a friend who's following this case, and I was like, what do you think about this? And they were convinced the husband did it. And they watched the case. They were like, I've watched the case, and you haven't watched the case. So I know more than you.
Yeah.
And they were just absolutely convinced that the husband has done it. So you have one pocket of people who thinks that she didn't do it at all, that she should be exonerated because apparently the husband or someone else did it. And then you have another group of people who acknowledge that she did it and yet it seems like they're going a bridge too far for advocating for Lindsay and supporting her,
Right.
thinking it's like they're supporting the awareness of postpartum. And it's just like, where do we draw the line? I mean, at some point, maybe the system failed Lindsay, maybe society failed Lindsay, but we
sure.
still, as a society, have to hold people accountable for these evil acts. I mean, the war hero who comes home and murders his family, and
Right.
I think that happened this year. He might suffer from PTSD,
Right.
and maybe we have an awareness of how we shouldn't leave our heroes behind, and maybe we need to do more for our vets. But that doesn't mean that these
100%.
people shouldn't face accountability for their
consequences.
heinous acts.
Absolutely.
And it seems like people are just like, not threading that needle in a way that's kind of scary. You have, anyways, it's just kind of crazy.
I have a question for the moms. I know there's a difference between postpartum depression and then postpartum psychosis, which is what is going on in the trial. When you're experiencing postpartum depression, are you aware, and I'm sure it's different for everybody, but maybe in your experience, like, are you aware that that's what's happening, or are you just feeling like an overwhelming sense of,
Yeah.
so it's,
That's a great question.
okay.
Yeah. So in my case, I mean, I can't speak for every woman, obviously, but in my case, I had my daughter when I was 29 years old. So a fairly young age. And my whole life, all I wanted to do was be a mom. Like that, I carried around a baby doll, played house, that was my goal in life. Had a super supportive family and husband. And I had this baby, and right after I had her, I would cry a lot. And my mom said, "Oh, these are the baby blues."
Yeah.
So that felt normal, right? Everybody was saying you're going to experience this sadness sometimes, which doesn't make sense because the happiest thing in your life just happened, right?
Yeah.
Like you had this beautiful, healthy baby. And I think what happened with me is it progressed over a period of 6 months.
Oh, wow.
And so after a while, I recognize like this is no longer just baby blues. The hormones are out of my system.
Yeah.
Something's really wrong. I would talk to friends about this, and friends didn't necessarily understand what I was going through because some of them didn't have babies, right? Other ones didn't experience this.
Yeah.
And this was 2008. So it wasn't like it is now where there's just an influx of information at your fingertips. And so I finally went to the doctor and I said, look, I'm having these intrusive thoughts about dropping my baby and her bleeding, and I'm horrified by it. And I'm, squeezing her tight, and I can't sleep, and I'm checking her pulse and if she's breathing every night, and I can't eat. And I just feel suffocated. And my doctor said, yeah, you have postpartum depression and anxiety, which is, scary to hear as a new mom because I had never been diagnosed with anything like that before and didn't understand what was wrong with me and why that would happen to me. But one of the most important questions I asked, which is really interesting, like hearing about this case, is how do I know that I'm not going to hurt this baby? You know, like what's the difference between me and the mom that does end up hurting their baby? It does drop them or does do these awful things. And she said, the difference is that you understand it's wrong and you don't want to do it. You know, even though you're having these thoughts, you know they're wrong. And with psychosis, you actually think if you hurt your baby, if you kill your baby, everything will be better. And that was a really big moment for me. Fortunately, I hate to say, but like it does make you feel a little bit better in that I don't think anything's going to be better. You know, I just need help. And I was so fortunate to have access to some of the best medical care and family members and the most supportive husband ever. But, you know, sometimes things I think other people don't or like they slip through the cracks. You know,
it's such like, it's a complicated thing to talk about because it's like, it's obviously it's not like an easy thing to
I wasn't.
admit those feelings. You know what I mean?
No, I felt like a complete failure.
Angela, I'm curious as someone who's obviously experienced this, and I think you kind of discerning the difference between, as hard as it is to like talk about that question you asked, I think it's an important one because you're seeing right now, there seems to be too many people not separating what Lindsay did to her children and the acknowledgement that maybe we need more awareness around postpartum depression. You have moms like making montages of these very difficult moments of being a parent and then trying to relate to Lindsay. And like for a lot of people, that's a bridge too far. And it's almost as like a theme that I've seen is, if nothing else, there's just a lot of loneliness. I mean, there's a lot of loneliness in this world today, but there's just a lot of loneliness with moms who, you know, feel very alone. You know, their husbands are working out of necessity. They don't maybe have the family in town. You know, we just have a different kind of culture where it's just become less of a village. Why do you think there is this level of people trying to attach? It's like, what I don't get is Lindsay shouldn't be a symbol, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, she did an evil thing. And I think we have to be very careful attaching Lindsay as the symbol of postpartum depression, because to your point, there are millions of moms out there who suffer from this. And yet they don't do this evil thing, right? And they hopefully sometimes get the help. They work through it, but like they don't actually do this evil thing. And yet you have so many moms out there trying to relate to Lindsay in a way that I don't even think that they're at that level that she was.
No, they're not, most likely, right? And I think they're trying to state something that we all need to be aware of, which is there is a huge crisis amongst moms out there right now in motherhood and the pressures that we feel. And I mean, especially now, like I can't even imagine raising kids like you and Natalie are now with the way that the internet is. I mean, I was not aware of all of these Pinterest things that you're supposed to do as a mom. And I felt so much pressure. Now it's like if your kid's lunchbox isn't a work of art, you're an awful parent. And there's so much pressure on us as a society to raise these perfect kids and to be a perfect parent and this and that I think these parents are really latching onto this, not because they're excusing what she did or they're saying like, you know, we all have felt like her, because that's an extreme, but that beginning of what she was feeling, that postpartum depression, that loneliness that you said is such a worldwide problem, mostly in our country, because our culture is not the same as some others, like in China, where they have the sitting month, where the mother is supposed to sit for a full month and take care of their baby while their mother comes in and takes care of them. You know, and they're supposed, like there's these cultures out there, even in Italian culture, like you move back in with your family when you get married in Italy. That's what my cousins did. I thought it was kind of strange because obviously I did not want to move in with my family. In America, we all have kind of like moved away from the village, right? Because we move away from our families. We have access to go across the country. And then you have this baby and you have no village to help you take care of it. And you're feeling the pressures. Not only that, but you're exhausted.
Yeah.
And that, makes everything worse when you're tired and you just feel alone. And so I think they're trying to attach themselves to something that isn't really what they are experiencing, but they're just grasping at something to raise awareness.
I remember after River, and I experienced postpartum anxiety with both pregnancies. I experienced it a little bit more with the twins, just because it was double the hormone drop. But with River, I remember having those same thoughts, Angela, of like, we'd be in the car and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm going to go through this red light and an 18-wheeler is going to drive by and hit the car on her side. Like the playground, like you just have all these intrusive thoughts. And I remember I was talking to Sharna Burgess about these, and just randomly we were at an event together and she was like, how are you doing? And I think I just like, it all just spilled out of me. But she gave me the best piece of advice that honestly saved me and then saved me with this postpartum as well. And it was to thank the thoughts for coming in, because it's making me more observant and it's making me like, be more aware of what's going on. And to like, when I am going through this red light, to make sure that I go a little bit slower to look and see if any cars are coming, or to hold River's hand extra tight as she's going up the stairs on the playground, because I had the thought of her tripping and falling and hitting her head, just to like thank those thoughts. And I think that like saved me.
Yeah, I mean, and it's really scary too, because I'll never forget when River was born. And again, like overall, we're very grateful for our overall experience, because you hear all these stories of the challenges families have. But when River was born, now it was the day she came home from the hospital, and it was like pouring rain in LA. I'll never forget it. Our doctor was like, pulled me aside. She was like, Natalie's gonna be emotional. And Natalie's mom kind of said the same thing about the baby blues. I left her pillow at the hospital, and then she came home and like we lost the pillow, and Natalie just started just bawling and crying, and in a way that like was different than I was used to, not that I'm used to seeing Natalie cry a lot, but this was different. And overall, like everything was fine. But even then, there's this like, as her partner was like, I don't know what to do, right? You just try to support, you be okay. But like, you just can tell there's a bit of a disconnect, that Natalie was feeling. And it didn't feel like the Natalie I knew, right? It was a different version of her. And thankfully it was temporary, and thankfully we got through it. This is all to say, even that scenario, that in itself wasn't that heavy of a moment. It wasn't that scary, but it still was like, oh my God, I wouldn't know what to do. Back to the fan theories with the husband. Another thing that's just like so uncomfortable to see is the amount of people online. It's just like, listen, if something this horrific happened, how does anyone know all bets are off. If someone were to kill my kids, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And how do you know how you would handle something this horrific happening? I literally couldn't imagine how I would process such a horrifying event. And yet you have all these people online being like, well, this is how I think he should handle it. This is how I think he should process this pain. And as a result of them, not being able to relate to his experience, because who honestly can relate to this, they are making accusations towards this father who's suffering, who lost his children. And, as if there's a perfect way to respond to such a horrific act.
Maybe him dealing with it was to find another partner to help him through it, And
I think, to be completely honest, as I followed this case, like, to me, as like, and I'm just a person following this case, so this really means absolutely nothing. But to me, it seems like there is enough question within the way the original day of this event was handled, that like there could potentially be a retrial as far as like just like the way the case was handled, right? And so I think like there's information about that just seems unclear. And maybe it's the nature of the fact that like the defense is trying to like put like her motivation into question that's like allowing this, and maybe they're just really good at their jobs in that way. But I do wonder if there's just like more to the story of their relationship than people understand. That at the same time does not excuse anything that happened. Yeah.
I guess I don't follow what you're saying, Mary.
It seems like there are some holes in his side of the story, essentially.
But these holes are being created by fans on TikTok.
It's being insinuated by the defense in order to raise raise thoughts about where Lindsay would have been in that moment. So it's not completely generated from online theory, but people are taking it and running with it to kind of like make a narrative.
For example, the friend I was talking to about this case, they were telling me about this 911 call, right? And their version of this 911 call was that the husband did not have the appropriate empathetic response, and she did. Apparently, in the court, like, while this is a case that we all get to watch, when it comes to the 911 call, that is not something that was aired publicly for everyone to listen to. Right? Because it was such a sensitive and devastating call that the jurors, the people in the court, and the reporters, and now the reporters who are covering this case is a pretty broad spectrum, from like your kind of independent journalists to people who work for like accredited, magazines and news organizations. And I came across one of the reporters who was like, there's a lot of misinformation about this 911 call. I am someone who listened to this 911 call. Let me tell you what was actually on the call. She gave some perspective about like her background, how she is someone who, like, she in her previous life worked very closely with the AIDS community. And so she been around a lot of like very devastating, like, telling parents that their child had died. And so she had experienced a lot of what it was like to, watch a parent react to their child passing, and just, the horrifying reactions that some of these parents had. So she had some perspective. And she was saying how like the husband's scream was something that she will never forget for the rest of her life. And yet, because it's not being aired to the public to consume, and all these reporters now get to report on their perspective of the call, that is turning into all these theories that, again, from my friend who is from their perspective is clearly watching this case, their interpretation of this call was the literal opposite from this person who listened to this call, who was reporting this call. And it's just like, it's this night and day difference.
Scary. Yeah. I mean, that's the scariest part to me about the media right now, is that we literally have this woman who is admitting guilt. I mean, she's like, I will live with this pain of killing my children for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
That in and of itself is a prison and a horrible, like, I can't even think about it. And we're still questioning whether or not she did it, because we've got TikToks and people's perspectives that have no business giving their perspective. I mean, my friend called me and said, oh my gosh, can you believe that the husband framed the wife? And I was like, what case are you talking about? This is not anywhere by the legitimate news.
This is not the first case that has taken over kind of like monoculture, essentially. Right. What is the difference between, I know the answer is that just people are like, anyone has an opinion online now, but like, the difference between like you seeing something online about this case specifically versus like back in the 90s talking to your like uncle that has no idea what he's talking about OJ Simpson. You know what I mean? Like, people have been theorizing on these kinds of cases for forever. I wonder if the difference now is this, like, everybody has a claim to authority that just doesn't exist.
Right.
And I think we act as if when we see things on TikTok or whatever, that's like, that person is saying that as if they're right, when they could also just be like making a video and not necessarily thinking about it as much. And I just wonder if that's created such like a big problem in true crime, and like how that's affecting cases and people's thoughts on it.
We could spend hours talking about why it's gotten to the way it has. But yeah, I think fan theories have taken on its life of its own. You have creators who, again, like, are incentivized to come up with the most fantastical theories because those are the ones that get engaged with the most, right? And then there's just no sense of like, responsibility.
Right. Yes, that's such a good point.
And it's also, they're good to watch.
I just think it's scary because it's like the propaganda can reach so many more people and create this swarm of, and masses of people that believe in this false narrative.
Yeah.
And that's the scary part. Like when your uncle was talking to you and the villagers and the people in town, it was just reaching that small group. But now the message is going out to the entire world.
Yeah.
And then you're creating a huge group of people that are behind something that is not true.
Yeah.
And that's scary, especially in something like this. Yeah.
And it takes away from like what could be the important conversations too, because it
Right.
it really does take a village. Like
Yes.
over the weekend, we had Natalie's mom here. We had her sister here. Our friend Victoria was also here.
Right.
And
that's
everyone was
awesome.
helping. And like, we're very involved parents, but like, and it's not even just the help, right?
Right.
Like, it is very easy for, I watch my wife just like be an all-star mom. And it is so easy to just, I've seen a lot of like moms out there talking about, I feel like trapped in four walls, right? And I not that I can relate to that experience as a mom because I'm not a mom, but I have watched my wife, she gives her whole body, she's pumping, she's breastfeeding, she's the go-to parent for like River, it's just like, again, mom's always like the first person the babies want. And it really can make you feel like you have no other purpose outside of being a mom, right?
Oh, absolutely.
They were all like joking this weekend. They were, my sister's holding Iris, my mom's holding Dove, and, I've got River. And then Dove would start crying and she's trying to console her and she won't. And then they're like, oh, she's just got to smell Natalie. Just give her to Natalie. She's got to smell her. And then I would take Dove and then she'd stop crying immediately. And then River would be like, Mom, put Dovey down. And then it's like Iris starts crying. Like, she's got to smell Natalie. And then I've got both of them. And then River's like, put them down. So it's a very
it can be a lot, but like
yeah.
the thing I try to do, I literally was like talking to Victoria, and I was like, "Hey, I need your help. When take Natalie out, make her feel like a girl. Like
Yes.
if Natalie wants to
Make her feel like herself again.
whatever she wants to do, if it's a yoga
Yes.
class, if it's getting coffee, if it's whatever, just
Oh, I
have her
love
go
that.
feel like a girl. Like just have her go
a
feel
woman,
like
bitch, I'm a woman. The fuck?
a woman, but just have some fun, right? Because again, I think that's the thing that we can forget about when it comes to the moms out there, that
100%.
like that they have this job to do. And like, again, Natalie is so grateful of being a mom. It is like the focal point of her life, but that doesn't mean she doesn't want to do other things.
Right.
And it can happen so fast, right? You can feel
you
real
can
good
lose
one day.
yourself, yeah.
And then a couple days later, it's just like, I need my wife to get out and have some fun. And then there's pressure, right? Like then she feels the pressure.
But then the internet is, I am scared to share when I'm not with my kids because the internet is so quick to be like, well, then who's with your kids? What are you doing? Why do you get to go out? And who's, and it is very pressurized.
Yeah, that's interesting. I just remember when I first met Nick, and I don't know if you remember this, Nick, but I kept on going, well, if you need anyone to hold your babies at any point, I will come over. And you were probably like, who is this weirdo I just hired? But I think part of it was because I remember that experience of just being like, can someone else hold this baby for a minute? Like, can I shower? Can I just grab a glass of wine? And by the way, like I barely drink, but I just need to feel like a human again.
Yeah.
And it's so important to have a partner like you and a mom like Natalie has and a sister. And I think that's what this case, like, if we can take away things from this case that can better, our society and better, make a better life for moms, is that like, we need to be aware of the needs of our neighbors and the fellow moms in our community. And even if they say they don't need help, just drop off breakfast on their porch or just, write them a little note of encouragement or whatever you can do to help lighten their load because it's a large one.
Or just call, right? Because like now in today's, age, like everyone's starting a family at different stages of life, right? It's not the norm where you're like in your early 20s, everyone your age, it becomes a mom, right? Or a parent. Like it's happening at different stages. So a lot of times you will become a parent when your friends aren't and they're single, right?
Definitely.
And I think there's this kind of like, oh, well, they're busy being parents. You know, they don't have time for me. There's a lot of like, well, you don't call no one, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I remember also like when the first few weeks of River and the twins, even just being alone, being home with the kids. I remember I would find any moment I could to FaceTime or to call a girlfriend because it was like, I need to talk to another adult. Like I have to have an adult conversation. I've only been like playing and being silly and talking about snacks and what, it's like, I need to have a real conversation with someone.
Can I ask the moms in the room a question?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm talking to my sister yesterday, right? And we're catching up, and my sister has had my niece recently, or I guess in November she'll be a year old. But so cutest girl in the world. And I just noticed, like, after I was talking to my sister, we were on the phone for like an hour, just like gabbing, and I was like, I barely asked about my niece. Should I feel bad? And now I'm hearing you guys, and I'm like, am I actually maybe like doing the right thing by just calling and chit-chatting with her? Because I feel bad sometimes, but I also like, it's not that I don't love deeply and like respect my sister as like a mom and like getting to like learn about my niece and watching her grow up and stuff. But like, I'm still just trying to gab with my big sister.
No, that's great. It's great to be seen as
and
yourself.
ask how she's doing.
yeah, because parents will bring up their kids if they want to talk about their kids.
Well, yeah, because it's like my sister has a kid. I have a niece. My sister's still my sister. It's like the same thing when she got married. I'm like, that relationship is like, she literally scheduled me an appointment for an OBGYN while I was asking her how she's doing. She's an OBGYN. But like, she's, you know what I mean? It's just like, you want to keep those relationships.
Be seen as yourself because I read something when I was reading about this case about a mom who said, you know, no one sees me anymore. They just see my kids. So it's almost like I'm this invisible person, even to my own parents. You know, they call and they ask, how's the baby? And, you know, when your friends come over, they want the baby. They want to hang out with the kid. And you kind of feel invisible. So I think that's actually wonderful that you still see your sister as your sister, not just a mom. You know, it's like she is a mom, but she's still who she's always been.
I don't know.
A mom.
Yeah, like when my sister got here this past weekend, she, you know, we had been like tracking her location, whatever, like, oh my gosh, she's about to pull in the driveway. So we all kind of go out and I'm holding a baby, my mom's holding a baby, and then River's out there with us. And my sister, you know, of course, goes straight to River first, and then she goes to the twins, and then my mom's like, and then I'm like, oh, hey. And she's like, hey. Gives me a hug. My mom goes, I always forget about the adults. And I'm like, yep, like you do. You just get forgotten about.
You know, people are talking about this case as if like, okay, well, we need to like make some changes, right? But like, I think we just have to remember that yelling into the void of the internet is not going to invoke change. It just, that creates this noise. It creates division and miscommunication. But like to your point, Angela, like who's going to change this? It has to be us, right? It's not going to be our representatives. I don't think we want to require laws to make changes of how we see mothers more. It really is going to take our community. It's going to take your village. It's going to take you mentioned your neighbor, whatever it is. But like, it really does take a village, right? And the village is more than just helping with childcare. It is just making you feel like less alone. It's like you still have a life and you still get out there and you do have people help. And when you do have help, to give those moms permission to go enjoy themselves, you know, not just to sit by and watch you hold their kid, but just to get out and have some fun. But like, it really is going to create us as a society. You know, people are talking about, oh, like this, what this says about society. If it says anything, it means that we need to get off our phones a little bit. We need to stop yelling at each other through the internet and actually like reach out to the moms in our lives and just like check in, see how they're doing, you know?
I think what's scary is differentiating between what they're going through and this postpartum psychosis, because so many, it's kind of common for women to go through postpartum depression or anxiety like you guys are talking about. It's 1 in 8 women. Postpartum psychosis is not the same. It's like 1 in 1,000 women. And when people with postpartum depression or anxiety don't get sleep, they have, you know, depression, mood swings. But someone with psychosis has literal psychosis and breakdowns and can harm
like
other
they
people.
Disconnect from reality.
So it's great that it's causing awareness for all postpartum, but because they're so different, I think it is really dangerous to just compare yourself to someone who has murdered their children, because it is so different. It's just
propping her up as some sort of symbol or hero. That's just a huge mistake that we are making, because again, you can recognize this as something that didn't need to happen And as a society, we can say, what could we have done differently? What can we do better? And at the same time, not, give the person who killed their kids like sympathy for what she did, and recognize that this was an evil act. And it didn't need to happen, and maybe we can do better. But like propping her up as a symbol, I think is a bridge too far.
It's hard to say for me an evil act because yes, it is horrible, but she was mentally ill and had broken from her own reality.
And also considering like the issues with medication and the issues with her treatment, it's like there's so many things that like
failed her.
The thing is like, I think
gosh.
like this case to me is like, it's so upsetting because you're watching someone who like was a victim do a horrible thing that you can't come back from.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm just a little uncomfortable with the victim label.
It's uncomfortable. I mean, it's uncomfortable.
Well,
but not just because someone is a victim doesn't mean that they did something good.
Would you describe this the war hero who came back from war?
So.
With
Yeah, I would.
I
think it's
Yeah.
the same sort of like that doesn't. Someone being a victim in a situation does not negate them doing a heinous act. Essentially,
Especially
like it's just two things that exist and are uncomfortable next to each other. Unfortunately,
I think that's
I hear you. I guess I hear
too.
what you're saying. I guess I'm just like I think I'm just less quick to use the word victim because again I think that it blurs the lines a little bit too much.
I'm not sure that she's a victim. I think she suffered from a mental illness and disease in the same way that PTSD affects our soldiers. And my uncle, who I'm so proud of, who unfortunately passed away this year, spent his entire life after almost dying in Vietnam, advocating with our governor in New York and with President Clinton to form these programs for soldiers and veterans that would come home and were severely ill mentally and physically from, what they had seen. And I think that we have to talk about that for our mothers too. Like what is out there? What are the resources? What can we do if we see someone struggling?
Yeah.
Should she have been left alone at any point?
Yeah.
Right.
I
agree.
I'm not sure that, and I'm not blaming anyone, but
preemptive strategies to make sure that these things don't happen.
We take care of our people, and make sure they're okay.
The village is for everybody. You
Right.
know, there are people you don't like in the village that you have to like,
As a society, we need a line. And I guess what I'm saying is like society can't always be the thing we blame. And I think something terrible can happen and we can have empathy and we can say maybe it didn't need to happen, but sometimes someone goes too far where we still can't, like maybe society failed them, but they still need to be held accountable. And I think
she
sometimes
definitely needs to be
Yeah.
held accountable.
I think that's why it is uncomfortable because there's so many conversations happening. There's the conversation of the sensationalizing it online, people, going so far to defend her or blame the husband or different, like all these different things that are happening, which is like a completely separate issue from what I understand, which I don't know all the details, but also I just have to say like 1 in 1,000 is kind of a lot.
Yeah, it feels like a lot more
that's
than
kind
I thought.
of a lot for psychosis, but to disclose, like I have had a friend who had thoughts like this and was like, my family would be better off. And that's like and for her, she's like, that's really hard to admit because I understand like my friends, my family, like it's a jarring conversation and it's like really hard to admit out loud. But I guess if that's the definition of like believing that your family would be better off, like then maybe it is a lot more common than we think. But I think in this trial, like she's made it's become very clear that she was institutionalized at one point. She said multiple times to multiple doctors, they messed up her medication. They went against like
That's
regulation
scary.
multiple times where they switched medication like so quickly that can like adjust things like
100%
in your brain that are like have nothing to do with even your own chemistry in your brain or biology in your brain. Like there's just so much happening that it is just like a very uncomfortable thing that I think she was a victim of she experienced a failed system, but also did a horrible thing where there's no there is, like, and that's why the trial
no
is.
one's condoning what she did, but we're also looking at it as like there was a failed system here, or something went drastically wrong. Because I know for me, if you miss a day of your SSRI or 2 days, like the things that can happen to your brain are so frightening.
It's really
and
messed
so you
up.
think about this woman who was already experiencing a lack of sleep, depression, anxiety, all of these things, and then you're being thrown medicine and none of it working and messing, or like
also like
who knows what was going
as someone
on.
like I have like a moderate experience. Like I've taken I tried Wellbutrin and I'm on and I've tried Zoloft, and it's like when there is a medication like an SSRI that doesn't work for you, like I broke out. I had like panic attacks and like broke out in hives
can
when
have
I took
the adverse
Wellbutrin.
effect.
And then Zoloft, great, but even if you run out, and then it's like you experience this hangover of like, oh my God, it all just comes rushing back in. And then to imagine like experiencing postpartum, and like I'm just 25 and figuring out my life, like experiencing anxiety, depression, to imagine being like a mother with 3 kids experiencing like postpartum psychosis with the added medication stuff. I don't know. It's just so sad.
It's definitely
sad. I also think it's important to point out that even for the, postpartum psychosis is more rare than postpartum depression and anxiety, but not every mother who experiences postpartum psychosis actually murders their kids, right? Even that's even a much smaller number.
Of course.
But listen, like there's just a lot of scary, sad things that going on in this world, but like, we just need to be careful trying to bring awareness to something that needs awareness and not associating too much sympathy for the people who are actually committing these acts of.
Because at the same time, like we need the awareness around all of this stuff, but like those babies also need justice and like they need someone fighting for them.
Right.
And that's like where it gets.
It seems, the
line is getting blurry.
Lost. Angela, I just want to thank you for being a part of this, and just sharing your perspective, because honestly, it's just stories. It's moms telling their stories and people willing to listen, because again, there's just so much parenting discourse out there that is, a lot of it is helpful. A lot of it is not helpful. I still think parenting is one of the best blessings and most beautiful things out there. And I think we need to be able to speak about how great it is. I think we can recognize the difficulties of parenting without condemning children and how difficult they can be. I laughed so hard because of River this weekend. I'm not an easy laugh, but she also just drove me nuts. She also just when your babies are crying in the middle of the night and you're on no sleep, it does feel like someone's like taking a drill bit into your brain. Like Nellie and I get very irritated at each other in the middle of the night. It's hard, but they also bring so much joy into your life. And I just think, I'd love to see more of the positivity around parenting and let's talk about the challenges, but sometimes these cases have a way of taking on a life of their own. We'll certainly continue to talk about it as the case unfolds and maybe bring on some very qualified experts to help us guide through these conversations. But Angela, again, I just want to thank you for being so vulnerable, sharing your experiences, and thanks for being a part of our team. We love you.
Oh, of course. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, that will do it for today's episode. Thank you to our guests, Nat and Liv from The Girls, and thank you to our very special guest, Angela R. Booker, for sharing her experiences on what it is like to deal with postpartum. Let's be kind to each other. Let's be careful about what we post online, and just support our moms. Reach out to your moms. Reach out to your people. We need to be less alone as a society, but the only people who are actually going to change that is us. So let's just remember that. We are back tomorrow for another great episode of Reality Recap, so don't miss that. We'll see you then. Bye-bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.